the Tigers. We spoke about Cameron Rayner earlier. Are you hopeful that he is going to be one of those players that just comes alive at the back end of the year?
Yeah, well, his form the last few weeks has been good. I mean, he's probably been in career best form this year. Yeah, I'm hoping he can keep it going. I want him just to play well today, and if we get to finals, which we haven't done yet, hopefully he can set it alight.
How do you find the balance with his game in terms of midfield time and forward time? Because you've tried him at half back, and you've also now played him in the midfield and played him deep forward. What is the right balance for Cam Rayner?
Oh, look, he's mostly a forward, Jack, and then he's got a bit of a licence to come up to stoppages when he sees fit, and he can exert his influence, but there's no real pattern to it. He just decides.
Just looking at your last meeting with the Saints, round 14, you conceded 76 points from defensive half intercept chains. Is that something that's discussed and that you're looking to fix going into this game?
Yeah, we definitely talked about that after that game. A lot of that was in the last quarter. I thought we got a little bit lazy defensively, but the last couple of weeks our defensive games returned, so hopefully that's the case tonight.
And the uncontested mark game, both sides rely heavily. 100's the number,
uncontested mark.
100 is the number. You had 141 last time. You only played them 7 weeks ago. So do you sort of look at that as, well, that's what we're going to get tonight, or have they evolved a little bit and you guys have evolved over the last 7 weeks?
No, they're pretty consistent. Whenever they get over 100 marks, they win, I think.
5 and 0.
Yeah, so we know that. I don't know what ours.
9 and 1 for
is it?
face.
Okay.
There you go.
I'll worry more about the opposition than I do us. Look, we've won games all sorts of ways. We don't necessarily need to have a whole lot of uncontested marks to win the game. So we'll just see how it pans out. Both sides are probably trying to not give away that many marks.
Tell us what Ryan Lister means to this group. He's a very unassuming guy. He doesn't have the highest profile for a 200 gamer, but I understand is absolutely loved within the football club.
Yeah, we've got our own trademark that we try to live by, and he's the bloke who is the number one at it. I guess, he's such a selfless person. That would be how I would describe him. And Harris Andrews played his 200th the other day. He did that in 10 years. It's taken Froggy 15. So he's really had to be resilient. He's played a lot of reserves footy, but here he is playing in career best form.
Well, hopefully for your sake you can get him the win today. A big game for the football club. Thanks so much for joining us. Fags, a big game up against St Kilda coming up at Marvel Stadium. First bounce is coming up next. Dwayne Russell to call all the action.
Missing the parts you need to fix your car? Head to eBay for parts and accessories from other motorheads who are...
All right, welcome in, folks. Welcome in to today's game. We've got St Kilda taking on the Brisbane Lions. St Kilda are playing for a little bit of pride, and of course, Brisbane Lions are wanting to climb that ladder. As we just have a look at the Brisbane Lions there, they're sitting in 6th position. If they can win today, there's a big chance they will jump right up into 2nd position. But let's have a look at the ins and outs for both teams. St Kilda, we've got Dow, Pilipo and McLennan for the Saints come in. Of course, Clark Garcia, Burns go out. Angus McLennan is new for the Saints. Subs, Paddy Dow. We've got the milestones there for the Saints. We've got Mitchie Owens on 50 games. And, of course, Angus McLennan, his debut game here today in this big match at Marvel Stadium between the Saints and the Lions. The Lions ins Harris Andrews, Bruce Revel, and, of course, omitted is Connor McKenna and Eric Hipwood. A couple of big outs there for the Lions, but I'm sure they'll get the job done. Bruce Revel is the sub, and of course the milestone game, Ryan Lester, for his 200th game there today for the Brisbane Lions. Just having a look at the team lineup. St Kilda's their halfbacks are Battle, Howard, Wilkie, their halfbacks, Malera, Sinclair, Webster, Wood, Boner, Stocker are the centres. The half forwards are Hill, Higgins and Owens. Their forwards, Caminiti, Membry and Sharman. The followers, Marshall, Steele, Jones. And the interchange of Butler, Wilson, Polopo and McLennan. All right, for the Lions, their full-backs, their backline are Zorko, Lester, Pryor. Their half-backs, Wilmot, Andro, Starcevic. Their centre, Uchi, Rayner, who's on fire lately. And Fletcher, of course, their half-forwards are Cameron, Charlie Cameron. He can light the stadium alight. Berry and McCluggage. The forwards, we got Lohman, Danaher and Morris. The followers, McInerney, Dunkley, Lockie, Neal. Interchanges, Will Ashcroft, Henry Smith, Zach Bailey, Shadow Brain. There we go. They are the teams. They are the ins and outs, folks, of who is in the team lineups today between St Kilda and Essendon, which we're only a couple of minutes away from game time. There we go. That's stretched out. That's a little bit better. 2 minutes to game time between this game here. Of course, players and all are down on the grounds. They'll take their positions very, very shortly, and then we'll get this game underway. Hey, go, Mark. Welcome in. Welcome in. Don't forget to vote, everyone. Who do you think's going to win this game today? We've got the poll going at the moment. So far, we've got 5 votes in. Brisbane have got 80% of the vote and 20% for the Saints at the moment. There we go. So coming down to 2 minutes, and we're going to get this vital game underway. Just in the other match that's been played at the moment, of course, today we saw the GWS Giants come in a comeback effort, down 28 points in the last quarter. They got up, the Giants, 84 points to defeat Hawthorn, 82, so 2 point. Great game. And of course, the other game that's been played now is Essendon and Fremantle at the MCG. Fremantle leading the way there, 55 to 42. 13 points in it there. And of course, this game now, which is at Marvel Stadium. We've got Manuka Oval, MCG and Marvel Stadium, the 3 grounds that they played today. So this one, Marvel Stadium here in Melbourne, and this game will get underway in just a moment. But what I might do, I'll just take you down to the commentators and they will take us into the opening bounce of this game. St Kilda take on the Brisbane Lions.
In the fight for finals. 2 captains out there. If you joined us late, there's a late change to both teams. Bruce Revell coming in for the Lions with Eric Wood out.
Your call. Heads is the call.
Alice Andrews back.
Heads it is.
After concussion. So not far away from getting underway. Big crowd here at Marvel Stadium for this final game of round 21. Just 3 rounds to go at the conclusion of this. I've told you who the Saints have got in the run home. They've got Geelong Company the last 2, the Brisbane Lions the last 3 games. Giants at the Gabba, Collingwood at the MCG, Essendon at the Gabba. So it's got to be massive they get the job done here this afternoon, because it's still a tough run coming for the team that is the hottest team in the comp. Won their past 8 games in a row, best streak in the AFL. Saints are pretty hot too, though. They've won their last 2 coming into this, 3 of their last 4, including, as we've spoken about, those wins against Essendon and the Sydney Swans. Lions in this crazy season lost 5 of their first 7 games, and they might become most people's premiership favourite if they win this one tonight. Some teams have taken some hits over the weekend, including the Swans and Carlton.
It's a season of what could have been, Dwayne, for St Kilda. 9 games, decided by 10 points or less than 3 and 6. But now it's starting to show the positive signs leading in. Ross Lyons wanting to be the Grinch, no doubt about it. So this will be a really close contest, I think, today.
Oscar McInerney in the ruck. Rowan Marshall, a contender perhaps for All-Australian ruck this season if he finishes the year strongly. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the planet. Underway in the final game of the round. Fletcher gave it off. Zorko's been in awesome form, speaking of All-Australians. Hammers it inside 50. Wobbles it back out. In the back.
Good signs early for the Lions, beaten -6 by the Saints last time from centre bounce.
He chips the short pass in hope. He was aiming for Morris, and then Malera caught, going nowhere.
Ross Lyons gone with Brad Hill on Dane Zorko as well, so looking to try and probably exploit Zorko with one of the Saints' best.
Yeah, Sydney did that a couple of weeks ago with Goulden and Chad Warner playing at half forward to try and restrict the Zorko.
Owens to Webster. Owens in game 50 put his hand up to do the ruck work there. If you looked around to see who else was there, but he was content to be the man, and he has been the man on occasion.
No Windhagen today, so Lockie Neal will have a different matchup, you would have thought. Stocker did play a tagging role last week against Essendon.
Owens to Danaher. Cameron locked up immediately. He got it.
Not sure whether that'll eventuate or not, but that'll be one to follow throughout. Lockie Neal heading towards his 3rd Brownlow medal with his form in the last 8 weeks.
Yeah, he, the Bond, Cripps, they're all headed for Brownlows this year. We might have a 5-way tie, and it wouldn't be Wouldn't be bad if we got it, given how good a form some of the superstars of the competition are in.
Interesting ruck battle happening off here. Both players sliding behind the ball.
Yeah, so McInerney with the reach on Owens that time, and yet wasn't decisive. And guess who kicks it towards half 4 times? Good to have Andrews back from concussion. Berry, Archie. So Cameron in the pocket, that's who he wants. And didn't quite get him. I'm not sure it was the kick or the lead. He let under the ball a bit.
It was Josh Battle coming back there on Charlie Cameron, who I think put Cameron in sort of 2 minds on whether he needed to make body contact or just take the easy mark.
Danaher and Marshall. Danaher rips out of the air. He got a bit on that. It floats a little bit, Howard. Waiting under it. Cameron could have come and smothered that ball. In the end, he dodged away from it. Archie can kick a big goal. Hero a couple of weeks ago. Gets one early here.
Well, Dougal Howard, who's the goalkeeper there, and caught the big high ball from Joe Danaher and was just stuck in 2 minds. Brisbane actually didn't press up on Howard here. They sort of were letting him kick the ball. He was trying to get it to Brad Hill and went straight to his opposition in Dane Zorko, who made them pay. He got it to Archie and just finished off nicely there. Good start for the Lions. The ball's been in their forward half for the first part of this game. And that forward half turnover resulting in a nice early goal for Brisbane.
We're looking at early matchups. Great finish here by Calais. He's been an important player for the Lions. Looking at matchups, it's forward to the ball, and Cam Rayner has been in dynamic the last 6 weeks. He's got a licence to run everywhere. Ross Lyon alluded to his strengths in the pre-game interview, Jack, so it looks like he has Liam Stocker for company today.
Good to go. Marshall and McDougall ripped it out of the air. Short pass. Down to his target. Rayner caught. Got a handball away. The knock on by Howard, but into troubled territory. Lohman held up.
-6 last time, Brownie. Brisbane out of the centre bounce against St Kilda. I think with McInerney in this area, they dominate. They're already up. First 2 to Brisbane.
Yeah, well, I think McInerney's in the conversation for Australian rugby in the last 6 weeks.
There's a few in that equation at the moment. Hill. Nicely delivered to the hero from last week. Best game Cooper Sharman's played. And he blasts it along. Caminiti's target caught behind. Thou shalt not pass. He's having an outstanding season as well, Harris Andrews.
Caminiti's got to wear Andrews like a tag. So we speak of probably more so mid-sized players that tag here, but you just got to sit right on the back of Harris Andrews. He will take you to where the ball is going to go. He's such a good reader of the offense of the opposition.
Pryor down the line to the wing. Through hands, Webster Waiter to the back. Howard had his hands on it a few times. It's a wobbly one that's going to make a few work, and Starcevic takes it out with a bit of Marshall's rib to his knee at the same time.
Yeah, 2 ruckmen that like grabbing the ball out of the ruck. Certainly can be dominant in clearances themselves. Marshall had 8 clearances last week. McInerney had 6 clearances.
And that's how do you judge an All-Australian ruckman, is it? Marks, is it hit-outs? Is it hit-outs for scores? And you mentioned Marshall has had a lot of clearances, but they've been to 50-50s. Wilmot got it from Fletcher. Runs the wing, heads toward Cameron territory. Buffeted out of it. Battle. Webster. Wilkie. Bump. Hot contest at the moment. Zorko set the last one up. Heads in the Lohman direction. Howard got there. A little bit of afters. It was there. He put some mayo on it, but Kyle Lohman should know better than that.
Good job for Jimmy Webster today too, playing on Charlie Cameron, who sort of reinvented himself playing further up the ground. No Hipwood today, so potentially Charlie might play a little bit closer to home.
Steele. Play on. Hill. And Sharman got up there. Didn't quite bring it down. 10 marks last week. Puts it into dangerous territory. Bonner at the back. Got away from a couple. He had Higgins. Missed him. Had Sinclair. Missed him. Starcevic got it. Higgins got him.
Good elevation there, Cooper Sharman, and Ross sort of plays him a little bit everywhere, but predominantly since Max King's gone, he's been playing forward. There's been good contested marking, at least for them forward.
Yeah, 3 goals last week for Sharman, 10 marks. It's his second 10-mark game of his career, but He's had a 4-goal game in his career, but you could argue last week was the best of his career so far. Lyman, a little bounce and sets it up beautifully. Hand inside Smith. Berry caught, dragged down. Henry Smith could have got himself. It was unselfish. And should Berry have called for it?
Warning signs early for the Saints there. Josh Battle just letting Cam Rayner get forward on him. Cannot let Cam Rayner get forward.
Marshall. Smith against him, so had the experience there, Marshall. Starcevic from Zorko. Out wide. Archie just floated on him a little. Wanganeen Malera around his body. Philippo also back in after a hip injury. Good to have him back for the Saints.
This is an uncontested mark game that both sides like to play, possess the ball. Their best form of defence is to maintain it in short offensive kicks.
Bonner back to Philippo. Sail on him a bit as well. Kept it alive to his detriment. Neil wrapped him up and then he dumped it. Matthias Philippo, one of the 3 ends in the end. Paddy Dow's come back in after some good form in the VFL. And a debutant, Gus McLennan, playing game 1 of his career. The 20-year-old laid in for Ryan Burns, who's out ill. Next Gen Academy player for the Saints, and he's got a bit of time growing up in Cairo. High by Steele.
That's one of the upsides for Brisbane now. Will Ashcroft came back into the side about a month ago, just starting to work his way back into senior football after knee reconstruction. Only in his second year. There's plenty of upside for the Lions midfield that bats very deep.
Andrews. There you go. Ashcroft gets a possession on cue. 6th game back from that knee, Rico.
That's the one that Ross Lyon's talking about there. Give up the backwards kick, but you can't give up that little short one going forward.
Flips it up for Lepers to go. Stocker in front of the pack, and good tackle laid by Berry on McLennan in that 41. There he is with the black boots there. Next Gen Academy product, and they've got a few on their list now, the Saints. Ashcroft scrambles it away. Morris, awesome grab. Speaking of young guns, Logan Morris, since coming into this team unexpectedly a couple of months ago, playing earlier in the day, got the call up when Starcevic did a calf muscle in the warm-up.
Boots, did he?
He wore Marcus Ashcroft, Will Ashcroft boots. Marcus would have been great if he wore Mark.
Oh, nailings, really.
But he'd come from the Macca's drive-through. He had a McFlurry.
That's taking on cult status, that story, isn't it? It's a bit like the Mark Blitzoff steeplechasing story.
I think there's a bit more truth to this one, though. He certainly did have a McFlurry. And he started his career with a flurry. Beautiful kick. He's the goods. Game 12 for him.
Yeah, nice. Will Ashcroft shows incredible maturity. His ability to win first hands.
He got in a good spot there, didn't he?
Shows he's got great footy IQ. Obviously, he's got no one on him there, but he just knows how to read the ruckman's hands. Obviously, he does a lot of work within the training, Joe.
Yeah, I think even the ability just to get it on the boot. Don't underestimate how important and how big that mark is. Callum Wilkie is a very, very good key defender. Oh, it's a top 3 key defender in the competition. Young Morris there, just to go back and just, like I said, they're too small for him, but just to use his backside there to protect the space and mark it. I think it's starting to become a little bit of a lost talent there, the ability to use your hips and your backside to actually protect where the ball drop is going to land.
Spot on, and the belief you get from playing against the quality player in Wilkie. Territory is the big thing here. 8-2 Lions way inside 50.
Two of the great all-time premiership winning forwards with us. Jack very well, Jonathan Brown caught a handball, slung 360, and that was kicked toward the boundary. It's going to pull up, so it won't be insufficient intent. Oh, McLennan, the debutant, taken into Ruby Slicer, who's in pre-season training at the moment, so should be happy to wear a hip and shoulder.
No, it's not the hardest hit I've had this pre-season.
Can't wait to see Ruby and
just throwing a bit of shade down there, Rubes.
All the AFLW stars in action in a couple of weeks. Ball not back toward the boundary. Zorko, Jones, Philippo, Hill, Sharman. And the little jump. Wilmot. And just a little untidy.
Contact below the knees there. Just
when that slipped over.
So fantastic here, Darcy Wilmot. He's been really underrated. A lot of talk about Dane Zorko, but this guy's been fantastic off half-back.
Pulls the kick late. Dunkley, back to his old home ground, if you like. Zorko. And now it's opened up, although dangerously. Stocker got there. Knocked it down. Lays a hard tackle. Too high. Good to hear the crowd in full voice. They've had a lot to cheer about in recent times, the Saints. Won 3 of their last 4 coming into this. On their last 2. Wide ball. Wilkie crashed it. Butler. Steele. Marshall. Plays on quickly. He's got Philippi over the top. Had an impact early. Had the reach. Brain couldn't shut him down. Heads long. He's got Wood in the hole. Membry at the back. Little touch on it and cleverly fumbled through by Harris Andrews.
Yeah, right on. Good coordination there by the Lions defence. Again, just that longer kick in from St Kilda. Good for them to be able to spot up an inside 50 target early on. We saw great connection last week against the Bombers. Early on, though, the Lions' pressure's just been a little bit hot to get that uncontested mark.
Wilmot wide. Here's McLennan from 3 deep. He was going to thump the fist into it. He can take a big grab, but he's taken a couple of screamers as a kid, but unfortunately, he's probably got to play the hard team. Well, there's a bit of Ruby Slicer taking the hit.
Is that a kick?
Took it like a champ.
That's a lot of weeks of kicking, isn't it? Yeah. He's only 20 years of age, by the way. Angus McLennan, so he's a younger body as Jones weaves his way through them and finds Membry. But a wow Jones, if you like, given the fans have enjoyed a couple of wow Joneses.
Wow Jones, one of the old St Kilda players, probably a Carlton legend, but St Kilda players, he certainly went there. But that's the connection we're talking about. We saw that last week, and obviously they've improved from stoppage there. They've been working hard on that part of the game. Good hit by Jones.
Good numbers for Tim Membry, 23-6. And he's trademarked his entire career. Proof at the pudding.
Well, it was great use by Jones there. Just the ability to exit out of stoppage and come back through the corridor to create the other side of the forward 50 there, where Membry was actually starting to track back towards goal. But because Jones comes off the line and starts to move his body towards the middle of the ground, he actually invites Membry to come back up at the ball. And even the kick there, Brown, he just goes out in front of him. So he knows, well, he's kicked it there, so it must be free. It must be right to come back up at the ball. So good connection there between the St Kilda Football Club.
Yeah, the kicker can be the best eyes.
It's a part of the game they got right last week. Sharman was on the end of the few, obviously, against Essendon last week. Just their ability to lower their eyes. You can blaze away sometimes and kick it to longer down the line. You think Harris Andrews is there, though. So potentially that's their avenue towards goal.
Lions have won every centre bounce so far.
So they've got Smith in there at the moment. It's going to be a tough one for them to win. And he's still a chance to win it. He got it slick to Neil. Bailey turned inside out. Smith went back quickly towards half forward. Morris feeds it out. Yeah. All players not quite up the standard on both sides of their body, but they can get away with it. Wilkie got away with that, but turned it over. Morris. Wilmot. And caught the crowd screaming ball, but it was a good tackle, prior.
It was a good tackle. He didn't get in the back of Lockie. He sort of dropped his body weight to make sure that he didn't push Neil in the back.
Jones again. And faked and shrugged. Could have got a free kick for high. Umpire must have deemed that he shrugged it high. Starcevic. Good contest between two of the informed teams at the comp. Brisbane Lions have won their last 8. Saints their last 2.
They just need to chain out of those stoppage situations a little bit more. If they're under pressure, they bomb it. Well, you know Harris Andrews is just going to be setting up behind the ball. Plays into the Lions' hands.
Rayner wide. A little nudge out that time from Wilkie, and the umpire allowed it. Said it was to the side of Logan Morris. Bonner. Sinclair. On the run, Stocker. He's got the short or the long. He's got Higgins. picked it up and then almost turned it over. Starcevich dropped it. Trouble. Butler's lurking. It's in there. Flicks it out. Filippo trying to back out. Just smacked away by Ashcroft. Might be coming back with some interest. Saints have 3 guys behind the ball waiting. Webster cautiously goes wide. Sinclair, good hands to have it in though. McLennan gets a round of applause, the debutant. Bonner. Spear pass, cut off again by Logan Morris.
Good defence there from Logan Morris, playing half forward at the moment, but still getting back to help out what would have been an easy mark to Cooper Sharman on the lead-up.
Bonner ties up with Bailey. Bailey winks. He gets and goes, and then barks some instructions. Danaher the target. He told him where to lead, and Danaher did the opposite, I think. He went back, even though he was beckoning him to come forward.
Yeah, St Kilda will put out defence with a bad turnover there at half-back, and then the Lions are able to go straight back at them. So the Lions haven't been afraid to move the ball. They're one of the better ball movement teams in the competition. Give their forwards run-out opportunities.
The importance of that contest as well on the wing, there from Zach Bailey. The ball's either in offence, defence or contest. The contest is where the big value is.
2-2 last week, Joe. Kick 5-1 against the Saints in round 14 to dominate them that night. Brilliant.
Well, it's just too easy. So Brisbane winning the territory 9-5. St Kilda have been the best contested ball team in the last month of footy, Jack. So they need to get back on top of that. So they're -9 in this area of the game. I know it's a strength of Brisbane. They need to be able to compete here on the inside. Just start with that. Obviously win contest. Very good there by Zach Bailey, who's suddenly run his way into form.
We had the ankle injury sort of early on in this year, but that's a lovely finish there from Joe Danaher. I think in terms of importance to the Brisbane mould, especially with now Zorko going down back, is Zach Bailey's value across the centre forward part of the ground. He needs to be touching it 20, 25 times. We've spoken about Rayner, but Bailey is right up there in terms of score involvement to them as well.
2 rucks go at it again. Cluggage. Neal. Berry. Drops it to the turf and then draws the crowd. Back to Neal, makes it his problem. He's got 3 Saints coming at him. He mesmerised them all and fed it back to Berry.
That was unbelievable. So in one hand and thought, I'm just going to chip it over the top.
And by drawing 3 players, he knew that he'd have a player or 2 free. Cameron heads toward McInerney, and Marshall and McInerney were both there for that one. Good contested mark.
It's got to be a bit higher, I think, for McInerney.
Battle, and there is the battle for battle at the moment. Saints haven't signed him up yet. The Hawks are stalking him, and he's started well again in this one tonight. Wilson pumps it down the line. Sharman not quite reading them this week as well as you read them last week. O'Rolla. Bounce kindly for Bailey. Jones caught him by the hand. Pressurised the kick. Sinclair. Knew the contact was coming. And he wore it high.
He led with the head. It's a poor decision, I thought.
I don't like that. I reckon he led with the head.
Yep. Certainly an argument there. Ashcroft, I think, is with you on that.
Saints looking just to get a bit more control back in the game. We know they're high on contested mark side as much as Brisbane are as well. 141 Brisbane took against the Saints 7 weeks ago when these two teams met. So St Kilda trying to take the air out of the game at the moment, just control the ball.
Jones. Sinclair. Contested mark, uncontested mark. Take whatever you can get with these two.
Yeah, this is where you are as the Brisbane defence, and St Kilda will face this today too when a side is chipping around. You cannot fall asleep until that ball has been kicked long down the line to a contest, because these late little leads are how sides like this, that like uncontested marks, generate their offence.
Howard. Sharman, the man, up flies the whole pack way to the back and does well, Sharman. Kicks to a pretty good spot, just overcooked it a bit. Marshall resting forward. Caminiti beaten for it by Wilmot. Gave it to Zorko. Rolls it away. Harris Andrews. The fend off. He had the kid covered. It's only 18 years of age, unfortunately. Darcy Wilson. And now Loman's got it.
Sorry, Dwayne. Wasn't that a clever kick by Dane Zorko? Saw Harris Andrews out the corner of his eye.
Back to the Zork, goes long. Danaher doesn't get there. Good mark. Howard dropping back.
Talk about Marshall resting forward. He's actually taken Oscar McInerney as deep a forward as you could at the moment. So as soon as there's a turnover, they've identified, obviously, McInerney around the ground. There's impact for Brisbane. Marshall sacrificing his own game, just pushing forward hard.
They found it wide, Steele wide to Bonner. Sat in the air for a while. Jones. Higgins. It was the start for the Saints' big comeback against the Lions in round 14 when the Saints nearly stole it at the Gabba. Caminiti got there, had his own man to beat, knocked it to the front. Andrews wrapped up. Yeah, they met in round 14 at the Gabba. They opened up a 37-point margin in that one, the Lions, and the Saints got back within 7 in the last quarter thanks to a 5-goal haul from Higgins. Battle.
And Liam Henry was dynamic.
Yes.
Lions be wrapped. He's not out there today. St Kilda supporters obviously would hope he's out there, but unfortunately he's out for the rest of the year. Great recruit for them over the off-season. Hopefully he can stay healthy.
Rowan Marshall free inside 50 here.
And he's going up for it and got it. Off hands. He just didn't quite hold it though. Had both palms on it. Zorko, Bailey, Cameron, Andrews. What's he going to do here? Oh, well, he's walked it over. He can't get away with that.
He was hoping he was going to go out.
Wow. How can you expect to get away with that? 205 games of experience. And here is Wilson. I mentioned 18-year-old body only. And he's in the Rising Star contest with 21-year-olds, so it's always got to be tough for him to win that. Spear pass to Owens in game 50. So a milestone for Mitch Owens and a big moment for him here.
I love that. I love the coordination of the forwards there. Sharman led really hard just to distract the Lions defenders who were going to drop off. Just allowed enough for Owens there to get the mark over the top.
I mentioned Wow Jones earlier. There's been some great wearers of the number 10. Stevie Baker, Carl Dittrich, Roy Kazali, Neil Roberts. Spider Everett wore it for a little while. And he can't nail it here. His milestone game, but plenty of time to play with still for Mitch.
Here's the other part of this ruck merry-go-round at the moment where they're pushing. Marshall's pushing hard forward, and then if he can't get to the contest, McInerney's having to sprint back up to where the ruck is, and Owens just picks it up for the Saints.
Down the line, Morris front-on contact was illegal according to the umpire.
Good start here from Morris.
And he started that game in round 14 as well. When they got within 7 points, the Saints in the last quarter, he kicked the steadying goal to steady the ship. And it was one of the goals of the night. So Brisbane hold. McInerney's free, gives it to Danaher on his left. It's his favourite, but he couldn't bend it back enough. Lyman under it, and did he get taken down? He gave it. Okay, he took Webster down.
I haven't seen a bigger push in the back for a while, but now Charlie just thought, I can't get there, I'm going to shove him.
Big 2 minutes coming up here. The quarter time. McInerney front spot. Again, he ran under it. Brain gave it. Leicester in his milestone game, 200 heads wide. He's been opt for a reliable Ryan Leicester. I don't think he's ever had a big number kicked on him in his career, Ryan. What are you laughing at?
No, you know. Yeah, 6 and going 300, Ryan. Come on.
Jack Brewell kicked 6 on him. Confirm that now. Long ball was the wing. Thumped towards the boundary. Bonner knocked it out.
The team's defence is holding up really well. 13 inside 50s for Brisbane for 3 goals. 3 goals straight. St Kilda, 8 entries for 1 goal too. So both defences holding up well. Both team defences.
I'll slip you that 50 yards quarter time.
To make it sound as if we set it up. Ball back into play. 2 ruckmen danced the dance. They tied each other together. Luggage around his body. There's Morris again. Can't get on the end of it. We'll get a ball in.
Structurally, there's good energy from both teams.
Yeah.
So there's enough pressure around the source at the moment. So then they can get organised behind the ball. So it's a bit of an arm wrestle at this stage.
Second spot on the AFL ladder, up for grabs for the Lions, but they lose this. No guarantee they'll play finals. Wanganeen Malira hacks it away. Plenty of Lions around it. Early jump by Owens. It's my party, I'll fly if I want to. Long bomb towards the pocket. Morris got up there, got his own crumb, and rolls through a ripper. That's what the kid can do.
Once again, he found himself in the battle with Callum Wilkie and actually dropped back, so he's heading back towards goal. And see Mitch Owens here thought, there's been a few speckies this year, especially this ground. Bat Hill took a rip at the other end and he thought, I might try, but you can just see Morris starts to get back there and all of a sudden he's challenging Wilkie. Wilkie slips and had the option of marking it, but then good forwards just get back on Hook Brownie. They allow themselves one chance in the air, but they keep their feet then to allow themselves to have another chance. And Logan Morris certainly did that.
One area of his game that he's shone so far in his young career is his ability at ground level. When the ball does hit the ground, he keeps his feet well. He's got good nous for where the goals are. Cross line.
He would have left the coach's box and they would have been one goal better than what they were when he got down the bottom of the elevator.
With that look at his eye, when we start miking up quarter time breaks, I reckon it's going to be fun. Having guys like Ross lying around. Sinclair out the front. They can get a late one. Late reply. Opened up. Membry! Got good hands.
Once again, it was that kick across the 50 metres. Sinclair just has the ability to get out the front of the stoppage, which is the most dangerous spot to leave a centre bounce. But then you can get caught in Brownie sort of looking for someone to come directly at you. But he had the ability to take his vision off the line. And it was Tim Membry just gave a little point where he wanted it, and the ball was kicked duly there.
St Kilda forwards would have said, about time, boys. First centre bounce clearance at 1 for the quarter.
More goals than any other current Saint. 3 times St Kilda goal-kicking champion. Lines up. Gee, that's uncharacteristic, that miss. That's 24 goals, 7 for the year. Had 2 straight coming in from last week and 1 straight so far tonight. They might milk the remaining seconds off the clock, the Lions, and be content with this. They dodged a bullet late in this quarter. Membry could have had his second. And it's a 15-point margin at quarter time. The final game of round 21. Just 3 rounds to go at the conclusion of this one. Sunday prime time. Great to have your company. Lions lead 4 straight to 1-3.
All right, quarter time here, folks, at Marvel Stadium, and it's the Brisbane Lions. 4 straight goals, 24 to the Saints, 139. It's all about the accuracy in the kicking, both with 4 scoring shots. The Saints doing quite well, but just a little bit of the class of the Brisbane Lions are holding them in good stead for this game so far. Let's go and have a little bit of a look at the player stats, who's leading the way at quarter time. Just while I'll have a look at the stats and then I'll say hello to everybody in the house. Dane Zorko, Darcy Wilmot, 10 each of 2 for the Lions players there, both with 7 kicks, 3 handballs. Jimmy Webster, next best there for the Saints, on 7. Hugh McCluggage, don't forget your luggage, he's got 7, 2 kicks, 5 handballs. Logan Morris on 6. A lot of sharing the ball around. Pretty fast-paced game going back and forth. Lachie Neale with 5. He's just doing his job, not dominating at all at the moment. Zach Bailey on 4. Mitch Owens on 4. Brandon Starshevich 3. So here are the rest of your stats for your players. You want to find out how they are going at the moment. As you can see, this with the D, that is how many disposals they've got. That is the kicks and the handballs combined. So the kicks are in this line, and the handballs are in this line. And that is the total disposals for your player. There we go. So we've got a few players just on the 1 possession. Wood, Stoker, Pryor, McLennan and Butler. So there are the stats for your players after the first quarter. We'll go and have a look at the goal scorers, seeing where the goals are coming from so far in the opening quarter. Logan Morris there, he's got a couple for the Lions. Tim Membry, he's got the single goal for the Saints, and Joey Danaher, a nice kick from the boundary on his left side. He's got 1. And Callum Archie, the first goal scorer of the match today, he's still on 1 goal. We've got 3 minutes left. We'll have a look at the team stats. half time. We'll say hello to a few of the good folk who come in. Mark, Lancaster, how you going? Welcome in. Jamar, the stats man, good stuff. Jihin Loy, go Lion. We've got a few Lion supporters in the house tonight. Margaret Helpin, how you going? Go Saints. Going for the Saints today. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. They're not, they're not going too bad. They had a shot on goal there. Unfortunately, he didn't quite secure that. I think they said he kicked about 24 goals, 7 for the year. So he kicked pretty accurate, but not that time. Go Saints, she says, the poacher. Welcome in. Carly Hughes, I'm back. Good stuff, Carly. How you going? Duana Mega Love shout out. Icy on YouTube. Ice baby, welcome in. Sana all. Mega love shout out. Thanks for the share. Yeah, I stopped the last game, and then we transferred over to the new game. This is the final game for this weekend, for this round, and then we have to wait until next Friday night for the next game. Can you believe it? Richard, how you going, Squire? Welcome in. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. Just in the other game. Around the other game being played here at the moment at the MCG, and that is the Fremantle Dockers. They're leading Essendon 12-4-76, the Dockers to the Bombers 8-8-56. The Bombers got back within around about 7 points in that third quarter, but the Dockers reopened it up again and are back out to a 20-point margin. So we're going to take you back down to the ground, I think, because they're not far off starting. All right, folks, we'll take you back down to the ground for the last words from the commentators before they bounce the ball and get the second quarter underway.
Allowing the Lions to do this play here, which I want to have a look at. We see Logan, we won't look at the play, but we see the Saints here having a talk. He's going to be bringing them in. He's saying, we need to go harder. The centre clearances, as you spoke about, they're well on top. The Saints just won for that quarter. So they need to get that that area of the ground really organised to make sure they're getting on top and also getting their forwards an opportunity, because we've spoken about how much better their connection has been going into the forward half. At the moment, they are lacking that they have had previous weeks.
Ross Lyon incredibly fired up at quarter time. Jonathan Brown, just the one centre clearance for the Saints that's got to improve if they're going to be in the game.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubts. And I think it comes down to Oscar McInerney now. It's controversial if you say ruckmen are important or hit-outs are important. Well, he's been important. He's had 6 hit-outs to advantage from his 9 hit-outs. So he's obviously putting him down the throat. Will Ashcroft's come in. He's a fantastic first-hands player, as is Lockie Neal, as is Hugh McCluggage. So they're bat very deep in the midfield there. But I think if Big Roll Marshall could just minimise Oscar's impact at centre bounce, that would go a long way for the Saints to even things up.
Yeah, it's also about your centre bounce crew in terms of identifying where the dangerous space is. So clearly, the Lions got smacked by the Saints last time, -6, and we'll be -9 in clearances. So they've gone to work and identified areas of that sort of centre bounce area that they can actually get an advantage from. McInerney's obviously a taller ruck from the Marshall is pushing hard for it at the moment. Yes, they're -4, but they haven't given up a score from centre bounce yet.
Second spot up for grabs for the Lions. And there's a jam up on the ladder in the position where they are right now. And the team's coming at their spot. Rayner out the middle, straight down the spine, goes long. It's got Smith under it, crashes it down. Danaher on the spin. Put him in the spin cycle and put it through the gap.
Yeah, first centre bounce goal.
Had the scoreboard until about 20 seconds.
That's right. You put not the Moz on them, but the positive Moz. So there you go. Just able to force it forward, Brisbane. Cam Rayner's impact. We know he's had a great last 6 weeks. Just drives it in there to a one-on. Good effort there by Young Smith just to bring it to ground, and good finish by Danaher. The big forwards for the Lions are doing well when the ball hits the ground, but the most important thing, centre bounce dominance for the Lions is so important. They're a territory team, best territory team in the competition. That's making it hard for St Kilda at the moment.
The Saints at the moment, we talk about the uncontested mark battle. They're +13 in uncontested marks, but a lot of those have been in their back half and they've been backwards kicks. So the Lions are sort of luring them into their own forward half, saying, well, we'll give you the back kick because we know that's where we want the game played.
And the restart. And the tie-up. Joe Danaher's been in pretty good form this year. He plays 200th game in the final home and away season against his old team Essendon at the Gabba in a couple of weeks. This game 197, ball knock toward Danaher. Let's Cameron do the hard work. He waits out the back. McLennan did well. He gave up the battle. He took an eternity. Lyman got Danaher calling for it. It's in his direction. He leaves it for Cam Rayner.
Great chase by Charlie Cameron. So you don't have to have a huge amount of impact offensively, Charlie Cameron, but he's really buying into the team things, especially the last 6 or 8 weeks. His numbers don't look as good this year, but he's invested in the team. That was a great effort there to chase down, create the pressure, and then obviously that's why Cam Rayner's having a shot at goal. Look at this, fantastic.
I reckon they're placing less value on Charlie Cameron kicking goals.
Yeah.
And I think he's taken a while to warm up to that and thought, I like to be the man play close, but now he's playing high on the ground. More score involvements for Charlie Cameron.
Been starring this year, Cam Rayner as well, coming off a 25 possession game in the Q clash. That drifts a little, but that is magnificent to watch. He's a star of the show, and he's delivering again tonight.
He can have a big impact in a short space of time. Yeah? Pretty good first quarter, but he's already had 2 critical touches. He set up the first goal at the centre bounce, and then he kicks the goal a minute later. That's the damage that he can do. He's such a powerful player.
It's so important that this midfield role for him, though. He starts at centre bounce, and Chris Fagan spoke pre-game about they want to play it forward. But this actually gives him just this ability to sort of meander his way forward, track the ball, and a lot of the times actually finds himself free. Which is exactly what's just happened there. Is that he's sort of rolled forward. The midfielder doesn't know whether he's on him or he's on the player that's coming in to play midfield, and then he finds himself free. That finish there has gone 15 rows back as well, mind you.
Kicked the last 4 goals of the game. The Lions. And the flick down in the near direction. Spectacular. He got a kick away somehow. Not sure how, but he did. Battle. Stocker floats it. Zorko hunting it down. Gathered and went. Wants it back again. Bailey, Zorko, Ashcroft. It's a delight to watch Dane Zorko in this kind of form. Has to be All-Australian bound, maybe for the 2nd time in his career this year. Off hands, Danaher. Caught immediately by Stocker. Zorko was All-Australian back in 2017.
Big problem for St Kilda now. You can't give up territory against the Brisbane Lions. Wanganeen Miller has been quiet as well. They're on the back foot, the Saints defenders.
Well, smacks it back out. Here's Zorko again. He lets Bailey go and get it. Shrug off. Andrews through Zorko's legs. Caminetti lending a hand, gave it to Filippo. Out of trouble to Membry. If he marks it, he doesn't mark it. The big O. Pryor, Bailey with the fist, gets it out of play, and the Saints fans supporting the little things right now.
You can see what the Lions, what the Saints are trying to do with Brad Hill and Zorko, but at the moment Zorko is 70 metres away from Brad Hill, just letting him go right up the ground. Hill's had 3 touches, Zorko 12.
They're getting smashed territory-wise as well. It makes it really hard for Brad Hill. Dane Zorko can be really offensive in his position.
He's coming off a 32 possession game last week again. Dane Zorko's lineman takes the grab.
Doing some good stuff, centre forward Kyle Loman.
In fact, he's won both Ashcroft medals this year, Dane Zorko, in the Q clashes, in that good a form. And the kick, well, Cameron waited over the back. It's nearly going to get to him. It did get to him. And he misses.
So maybe one of Ross Lyon's absolute pet hates. And that big long kick inside their own D50, letting the ball get to the back.
Wanganeen Miller ran his full 17.
So the Lions just happy to give up that mark so they can trap the Saints.
Filippo to McLennan. And he's looked pretty confident on debut, the 20-year-old. Howard to battle. Caught the grass. Umpire saw it. Play on. Rolls it to Bonner. Hassle by Fletcher. Tried to back out of a jam and he's rolled down. He's another of their young guns. Father played for the Saints. One of his 5 clubs, if you want to count the Bears, the Lions, different clubs. Did Adrian and the Stars of days gone by. Filippo caught in the jam, going nowhere.
He's a beauty, assistant coach of the Lions as well during my time there. Absolute beauty in the midfield. Alarm bells at the moment in the St Kilda coaches box, getting absolutely smashed. 4-zip inside 50s, getting cleaned up. 4-1 around stoppage.
Owens tried to scramble away. Here's Fletcher on cue. Couldn't get away with it. Wanganeen Malera did. Stocker inside. Sinclair. Stocker. The 1-2. Lohman wrapped him up. Umpire said it was a handball. Lohman fighting hard. He wraps up Stocker with Zorko riding shotgun with him. And the Zork ruffles his hair.
I think the Lions' pressure's been good today,
It's been good. I reckon there's a fight for spots at the moment. Kyle Lohman, he's been sub a few times. He wants his spot.
Stocker, well, he knocked it down, but to Dunkley. And here's Lohman reaching. Couldn't get it. Rayner. Great tackle, Wilkie.
Feels like the Lions have got 2 extra players out there at the moment.
The work rate's there. The speed's there as well. And Ross Lyon spoke about speed from the St Kilda point of view. They look stagnant at the moment.
McInerney tried to knock it to Neil on the run. Umpire gives them time. Big pack around it.
Joe Danaher's telling everyone to get out, clear out this forward stoppage.
The ruckman wrestle. Marshall wants it down. Sinclair gets it away. Fist of Brain knocked it away from Owens. Huge ball to win. Wilmot nearly. Sharman the other direction. McCluggage wrapped him up. Dunkley fights the fight. Wood had him.
Good tackle by you, McCluggage. The new age technique of tackling.
Just rolling.
Roll him over.
Both Ruckman got a piece of it. Filippo not clear of his grasp, but he was attempting to get rid of it, which is what you're required to do.
I think in space the St Kilda mids at the moment.
I think they're trying to shut the stoppage down at the moment. They're like, we're getting smacked at clearance, so let's put as many numbers around it as possible.
Again, the big O with the reach. McCluggage down the spine. Battle. Cameron was stalking him. Little 1-2 of McLennan. Howard. Handball smothered. Fantastic pressure by the Lions. McLennan showed some poise there. Steele over the top. Caught and rolled. That crocodile roll tackle. Not rewarded though. Had a look around to wonder why, Dunkley. And it's a hold of the arm. Battle's free, but it might be cut off. Danger as he went back to Wilkie. And now Wood should be out.
Marshall's forward of the ball here, so he's working hard.
Wood sees him. Hits him lace out. He turns. He's got Caminiti on the overlap on Membry. Membry about to go. Brain got up there. Didn't get the ball though. Owens can't trap it. Out of play.
First 4-8 now. St Kilda needs to spend some time down in their forward half. They lock the ball in, set up really well, get the mids to go to work. They were fantastic this part of the game last week against Essendon. They got 450 stoppage goals.
Marshall front spot. McInerney dealt with him. Got a kick away. Lohman battle. Lohman front spot battle. Wrapped him, stripped him. Umpire let it roll.
Just be disappointed there from a St Kilda point of view. McInerney just grabs it out of the ruck. You'd expect a better contest from Rowan Marshall there. Just the one chance they get it forward, and all of a sudden it just goes back out.
Again with that reach, but Jones gets on the end of it. Steele gave to Hill, smothered. McCluggage, not a lot of room to move. Lyman opens it up. Hosts for Berry McLennan. Berry got a kick away. Smith looked around to see what was on offer handball-wise before he picked it up. Ashcroft the spear. Danaher's been dangerous. Dropped it. And got it for high.
We want to be a St Kilda defender at the moment. The ball's just coming in far too easily, whether that be from clearance and a bounce.
He wheels around as the Joe Show has a little bit of woe to the Joe Show occasionally. That's the kind of show you get.
It's a good drop punt, shot for goal, and his left foot in.
He nailed that one early on as well from the wrong side for a left foot. And now if you're Chris Fagan and you're sitting on the bench, you go, what's going right for us at the moment? A lot. But it's built off work rate and defence. 252 dead pressure rating at the moment, the Lions.
It was fantastic there. Wilson gets it to Higgins. Now Jones, Sinclair, Owens. Back pedals. Leads come. He plays on and goes inside. Delightful pass to Higgins.
It was a great lead from Jack Higgins. He went back and did this little whirlpool lead, just found himself in the right spot. Jack Sinclair was on early for Mitch Owens as well. Mason Wood had led across, but Higgins started to tail back towards goal, sort of turned on a dime and had the ability to come back up knowing there was space there, and then good connection centre forward.
2 goals, 1 last week for Jack Higgins. And again, he was the man who started the comeback against the Lions in round 14 with a 5-goal game. That's across the face. And they'll be disappointed with that. As is the crowd, as you can hear. Zorko. Now he has to go. Just pops the pass. The required 15 to Hugh McCluggage. Umpire gives him the hurry up and he heads wide. Flies Harris Andrews. Ball out of play. And he took his own man down and hopefully he's okay. Henry Smith. Tough first couple of games of initiation for Henry. This is his third game.
It's a decent jump to need Henry Smith in the back of the head.
It's an old school name as well. Henry Smith. If you went to book a restaurant table under Henry Smith, I'm not sure they believe you. But it's good to have that kind of name back in the game.
What about John Brown?
That's true. Off the handball chain, McCluggage has got it. And he heads out wide too, the man we're speaking of. Henry Smith. He's had to wait his time. Third game, fourth season. They picked 48 from 2020. Too old for a Rising Star nomination, but he's been staying in this team. They've shown faith in him. His few games so far this year. One of those, as Jack Rewald said, trying to hold his spot with finals on the horizon. Free kick, Marshall. Crowd happy with that.
Looks like it's Dan Butler now that's gone to Dane Zorko. Zorko leading all comers on the ground with 14 possessions, 4 inside 50s from half-back.
So Membry, Sharman, off hands. Membry got there, McCluggage arrived at the same time. Butler, crowd thought he was caught high, given there was one paid in that fashion down the other end.
So he did get him in the back of the head. And Smith caught one from either Sharman or a bit of friendly fire from Harris Andrews there. He's coming off with a blood rule.
So Eric Hipwood not playing, so that allows him to play key forward again today.
What was it? Oh, it was Andrews got him in the second one there, didn't he?
Oh, no. I think it might have been Sharman. Just got him in the top of the neck, base of the head.
Tough ball to win that congestion. Philippo did, got it out to Jones. Caught by McCluggage, he had a one-arm free. Philippo back again, to Wood, back again. Sinclair, Butler, big moment for the Saints this. Spear pass. Higgins waits for it. And he tried his hardest not to lay a high tackle. And again, the crowd not happy with the selective high tackle freeze. Brain goes wide. Andrews.
Incredibly impressed with Brisbane's work rate and pressure.
And there's a bit of pressure from McLennan. Sharman. Owens. Fed it. Butler. Starcevic got there out of time. Now he's caught. Just in time to Dunkley. To Wilmot. Blasted away. Howard should mark it. He does.
Joe Danaher is sitting 20 metres off the back there, hoping that there was going to be another link in the chain there, then get him out the back. Stephen Howard being proactive.
Wilkie to Marshall. Got some momentum back. The Saints, even if they're not scoring.
Henry Smith's gone down to the rooms just to repair that cut at the back of the head.
Thanks, Ruby. Stocker.
It's going to be all short here for the Saints if they want to take a mark. Jared Berry sitting back there, Harris Andrews as well.
Hill pulls the kick to the pocket. Andrews is there. Sharman. Andrews, he was initially trying to spoil that, but he's taken the mark.
The volleyball set, wasn't it? Really?
Brain. Other of the young guns that held his spot in the team. That was a little untidy. Bailey. Zorko. And the turnover. Wanganeen Miller.
Yeah, Wanganeen Miller now. If you can get up in the forward half, the ball's in the forward half. This is where Wanganeen Miller can get really dangerous. He can get off his man, become the distributor.
Sinclair, Webster, Wanganeen Miller on the flyby. It's across the face a little. Membry, Andrews, Higgins, knockout through Wood. Almost would have been better picking it up. He was trying to be unselfish. Rayner thumps it away to Battle. we'll be sending it back.
That's the evolution in Logan Morris there, knowing when you can go for the mark, but also when's the time to spoil as a forward.
Just some players inside 50. Marshall, one of them, front spot, thumped away. Rayner with the reach. Went and got it. Amazing. And he heads out wide to Logan Morris. Lyman running hard for him. He sees him. He puts it out in front. He has amazing speed. Lyman, magnificent. Calls himself Cobra Kai. And he loves the big time.
That all goes back to a really shallow entry for St Kilda. You say shallow, it's like in terms of where the 50-metre arc is. You kick it into that part of the ground, 40 metres out. You open yourself up to transition football, and it is exactly what the Lions did.
It was Rayner, though.
Rayner just rode out, didn't he? That power in those legs to get out and get out of the space.
Pick 2021, third season, eligible for the Rising Star. She's got some family in the house. Maybe he's kicked out to a few of them from Ballarat, St Pat's College.
Cobra Kai, eh?
Yeah, it is. And the Saints dodge a bullet. Wanganeen Miller out wide to Wood, who puts it to grass, and Starcevic sees it out.
A couple of those opportunities tonight, the Saints, they've just sort of haven't taken the mark, and all of a sudden a bit of play that looked like it was going to expand into a really good offensive movement has been let down by poor skill execution.
Caminiti doing the ruck work. Smith is back out there doing the ruck work, as you saw for the Lions. Jones kept it alive nicely. The half forward, Membry. Andrews got a set of knuckles on the Starcevic. That's a brilliant tackle, and it's rewarded.
Yeah, well done. Great effort there by Dan Butler. Fired that up beautifully. Just got to hit their target now inside 50.
Yeah, the money kick. And Archie's about to mark it.
I'll just put the muzzle.
He was trying to get it to Brad Hill. Brad Hill sort of read the turnover really quickly there from a St Kilda point of view and pushed hard forward from playing on the wing and had no one, but you just didn't have the leg to get it over the back to him.
Andrews, Dunkley, McCluggage.
This short, uncontested mark game, but it's proactive as well. It's actually taking the ball forward, constantly using. That's 5 in this chain already. And they're now over halfway, going to get more offense.
Danaher hits toward half forward, nicely gathered by Berry. Does he believe in his ability here to kick it? And it doesn't look like he does.
He'll take his best from here.
Yeah. But he can wheel around with the man on the mark at least. No, setting it up. Danaher is target. Howard down to McCluggage, bad guy to give it to. Cam Rayner got his arms free. Lyman dragged down from behind, nicely held up by Butler, didn't get into his back.
Great effort by Dan Butler. A couple of important tackles last few minutes.
Caminiti, Danaher, Butler wobbles it away, and good spot, front spot, Sharman.
Big mark that there because the Lions have set up the old school wall behind their offense at the moment. Cooper Sharman found himself in the right spot.
Scoring has flatlined goal-wise for about 10 minutes now. So at least stopped the Lions scoring, even though they're not scoring goals themselves, the Saints. A strip on the wing. Membry did well. That looked a little high from here.
So organised behind the ball. You're sitting out watching on TV. It's like a big brick wall. The Lions, all the pieces are in part beautifully. Very hard for St Kilda to penetrate at the moment.
Gives them great offense as well, Brownie. It allows them to spread that St Kilda defence to then pick holes through it, which is what they're doing at the moment.
Starcevic. Low trajectory bullet. Lyman about to pounce on the crumb. Had Berry for company, ignored him. Ashcroft floats it. Archie might jump. Cameron stayed down. Handball to Rayner. Slung 360. Got a kick away and kicks one of the goals of the year. The Rayner man.
He's even flexing as well.
You are getting the belief if you're flexing like that. I think you said a pre-game, you might have been talking about another player, Jack, but these young players that come in, it can take a year, can take 6 weeks, can take 5 years for a player to fully get their belief. We are seeing Cam Rayner emerging to his absolute best on the back of belief.
Yeah, it was Rayner that we were speaking about. I think he started to believe in himself. The Lions have believed in for a long time. but I look at that and just go, there's not many players that can sort of shrug their hips like that and sort of, it's sort of like they're throwing a tackle. The other one is Charlie Cameron's got out the back twice now at aerial contest. So Ross Lyon will be pulling his hair out going, why is that ball not coming to the front? 3 St Kilda players were able to fly against Callum Archie and they still weren't able to kill that contest.
Pick one back in 2017, Cam Rayner, and you're seeing why this year. Neil, who could be in line front of the Brownlow, to Fletcher out wide to Archie. No mark. Bringing in Malera, turns it over, Wilmot. Back to Neil. Starcevic. All the answers at the moment, the Lions.
Where'd Oscar McInerney go? Just on a platter for his midfielders at the moment. The boys are just queuing up to be the target player.
Spear pass out wide. Neil coming off another 35 possession game last week in the Q class. Couldn't quite reach that. Wangani Malera with a bounce down the wing. Chamonix. Sinclair in the middle. Hits him. Turns, goes. Opens it up. Marshall, his target, got there. Membry.
About Tim Membry's 5th lead there.
Has he got this in his old leg? No. You want to run and take him on, Webster. McLennan.
17 players in the D50 for the Saints from Brisbane Lions point of view. This is all they've got, just to chip it around at the moment. They're trying to open up a spot.
Stocker sits it up in hope. Membry's going to fly. Not quite. Starcevic just floated that out to Danaher. Brilliant. Although, I don't think he's held it. Webster knocked it away. Joe pleads his case. Umpire says no for Joe.
Good there from Jimmy Webster.
Yeah. Ashcroft again. McCluggage again. Danaher. Looping handball to Rayner on the run.
He's a handy quarter.
A very riding shotgun rewards him. Over the top. Free kick downfield. So Charlie can have a shot here. It's a free kick downfield to where the ball was.
There's no kick in that bit of play. That was all handball. St Kilda just coming up, trying to press up. But because the Brisbane Lions have been staying connected with him, so if Charlie Cameron's man up comes up, he actually stays connected, then the handball goes from McCluggage to Cameron. It's just, that's the type of offence. It's fast. You don't need to kick it to get from one end to the other.
2 goals in the kick clash last week. Works that back to perfection. And he might be back in 2024.
It was dangerous that he's got out the front again. St Kilda defending the corridor well in that instance there, but it was around the outside that the Brisbane Lions were able to take it. See that one handball. And it's the ability here. Rayner's pushing hard forward from where he's positioned. He's always got the licence to go to stoppage. Berry got involved. And then it was Cameron, that free kick down the ground from Jimmy Webster for this late hit on Jared Berry. And a lovely finish from Charlie Cameron.
Big quarter by Cam Rayner, 7 touches, but 2 goals, 5 score involvements.
A lot of warning signs.
Yeah.
Contested possession in the first quarter was -14.
-11 this
Already
quarter.
-11 here.
6 goals in a row for the Lions. Crowd stunned here at Marvel. Dunkley. Ashcroft. Plants his foot into it, finds Neil. On the back pedal. They can smell more blood here, Archie, within range.
The Lions midfield just bats too deep for St Kilda's mid at this stage of their development. Obviously, Ross Lyon will be looking closely at that at half-time. It's been a smacking contested football, smacking at clearance, smacking at centre bounces. If you give the Lions territory, it's almost impossible to beat them.
Some teams in the top 8, their seasons have hit speed humps. The Lions have put their foot down. They're searching for a 9th victory in a row. Archie, maybe the moment wasn't big enough. Puts it out on the full. Stocker short. Wilkie back to Stocker on the flyby. Out wide. Good reach, Filippo. Paid his way so far in this one. His return game. Inside kick to Wilkie. Wing it in middle, puts it to grass. Trouble. Has to wrap it up and try and mop his mess up. Still in there to be mopped up. Sinclair. Got the squeegee out. Filippo. Bonner. And can they steal a late one? Give them some hope going in, some momentum at half-time. Owen turns, goes. He's got Higgins in the pocket. Off hands. Huge crumb. Fletcher gets there. Ahead of time. Neil. Ball seems to find him. Lester. Pryor. Lines up a 2-on-1. Oh, good handball. Amazing handball. Archie. He's got players screaming for it. Danaher. Had Morris. Had the goals inside instead.
It was an incredible handball across the half-back line. Came from turnover again. The ability to get Calamarchi out all of a sudden put the St Kilda defence that were proactive in front of their Brisbane line forwards. Speaking of incredible handballs, Lockie Neal just says thank you very much. But it was this moment here. Just ability from Dunkley there to read the play. No Archie was the free at the ground. That's where the advantage was. And Joe Danaher went from a position of disadvantage to a position of advantage just like that. Pretty easy kicking from there for Joe.
He could be in for a big afternoon at the office. Joe Danaher. Most goals he's ever kicked is 6-5, his best this year. And he's having some fun. He's got 3 with the half-time siren looming. 5 goals, 1 last time these two teams met.
A lot of worrying signs for Ross Lyons and the Saints here. Centre bounce is one of them. 9-1 in his first half.
Love to get one. Certainly can't afford to concede one, the Saints.
-9 in clearances as well as a part of the game 7 weeks ago that they had the Brisbane Lions.
Ashcroft gets the clearance. Danger, got it to half forward, and McLennan's done well. A late in with Burns, a late out due to illness. And the debutants paid his way. Seconds ticking down to half-time. And Ross Lyon's going to have to reach deep into his bag of tricks. You might just be watching the best team in the comp. The Brisbane Lions are making a statement every time they play at the moment. They've won their last 8 games coming into this. They're looking to make it 9 in a row. Home at the Gabba, they're almost unbeatable at the moment. And they're doing some damage on the road as well. We're about to head downstairs to Sarah Jones.
Dan, you've got all the momentum, and that was a pretty slick first half. How do you keep it up, and what do you need to improve on, if anything?
Just the basics still. We had a really big emphasis on just playing our process, getting it done, and the rest will take care of itself. And it's pretty easy to continue in the second half when we're playing for a guy like Ryan Lester, who's been amazing for us for a number of years. So, yeah, we'll just keep pounding the rock.
Are we seeing Cam Rayner grow as a player before our very eyes?
Yeah, he's been superb, hasn't he? His last month's been fantastic, and he'll be getting a lot of confidence of that.
All right, we'll let you get in there with the boys. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, it's a 47-point lead for the Brisbane Lions at the moment. Second spot on the table is up for grabs as this twisty and turn season continues.
So much to watch.
All right, there we go. There we go, folks. It's halftime here at Marvel Stadium, and it's all the Brisbane Lions. They are in full control. 9-3-57 to St Kilda. 1 goal, 4-10. The Lions in that quarter put on 5 goals, 3 to just 1 solitary behind there for the Saints. What will the Lions win by? It's a good question. What are they, 47 up now? I'd expect them to probably go maybe at least another 20 to 30, 40, maybe 70 points. They're just, look, the class about Brisbane Lions are just shining right through. And you can see that all over the ground. St Kilda get it to, they put it inside their 50, but they just can't find the targets. They're just a few wayward kicks in there. The defence of the Lions are just holding up really strong. And it's not giving the Saints too much of an opportunity, but as I said, the class of the Brisbane Lions are just shining through. They're definitely my pick for the flag this year, the Brisbane Lions. I think they are the real in-form, strong team with all the class, and I think they've been there, they've done it before. I think this could be their year this year, the Brisbane Lions. Let's have a little bit of a look. Just before I go anywhere, just want to have a quick recap on the other game being played at the moment for everyone out there who's interested in the game between Essendon and the Dockers over at the MCG. 24-minute mark into the final quarter, and it's Essendon leading 13-11-89 to the Dockers 13-5-83. Just one single goal in it over at the MCG between the Bombers and the Fremantle. Wowee, I tell you what, she's close over there. All right, let's have a little bit of a look here anyway, and we are going to have a look and see who the leading disposal getter is here for the game between St Kilda and Brisbane, and that's Dane Zorko. He's leading the way with 15 touches. He's had 11 kicks, 4 handballs, 3 marks. Jack Sinclair's not going too bad there for the Sainers with 14, 9 kicks, 5 handballs, 4 marks, 4 tackles, 1 clearance. Need him to snag a few goals. McCluggage is going well. He's having a good game there for the Lions with 14. Josh Battle with 14. Pillapoo, I think that's how you say it, with 13. Lockie Neal, not having too bad of a game. Maybe, you know what, maybe a little bit quiet compared to his normal standard game, but he's going okay all the same with 13 touches, 6 kicks, 7 handballs, 2 marks, 1 tackle, and 6 clearances. So he's getting plenty of the ball out of the clearances, which is a great role for him, as he normally does. Darcy Wilmot, he's on 12. Boner on 12. Malaria on 12 for the Saints. Ashcroft, 12. Cam Rayner, he's having a great game. I tell you what, he's put on some muscle, and he's like a bullet to gate through there, and he's hard to tackle. His form has lifted. If anyone in the Lions team can take a few votes off Zorko and Whitfield, that is definitely a Cam Rayner. All right, who else have we got there? Liam Stoker, 9. We'll just roll down here a little bit so you can see your players' stats. Zach Bailey with 8. Mason Wood there for the Saints just with the 6 touches. Achie, the goal scorer, opening goal scorer, still only with 6 touches, 6 kicks, 1 goal. Charlie Cameron, he's had a few attempts there. I just can't quite gather the ball in occasionally, but he's still going okay. 5 disposals, 4 kicks. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. There are your stats up until half time. All right, just before we go any further, we'll go back down to the commentators. They're having a few words, and I'll come back with the rest of the stats.
To build their midfield out, the midfield depth especially, but you are watching a powerful midfield. And with the emergence of Cam Rayner, with his own belief over the last 6 weeks, that bodes well for the Lions going into September, and obviously a bit nervous if you're in opposition midfield coach.
He's hit the scoreboard, Ruby. He's had a presence around stoppage as well. We spoke before the game about how many disposals he needs to have an impact. Well, it's actually not that many because he is an impactful player.
Not at all. I think it was the first 2 minutes of that quarter. He got that clearance there to get the Lions on top, and then a minute later, he's kicking a goal of his own. So he really is doing it all. He's just so powerful. His second goal of that quarter, we saw him break an unbelievable tackle. But this is actually my favourite play of his, where he streamed out the half-back, just drew them his legs, and it was a beautiful lace-out kick to the boundary that ended up in a goal for him. And this goal here, that is just sheer brilliance. And you boys, I know you loved it upstairs, but the confidence that we are seeing in his game is incredible.
Brownie, how good can he be? We know he's obviously a top draft pick, a highly talented youngster. Where can he fit in this echelon of players?
He'll be the most impactful player in the competition, because at the end of the day, he only needs to touch it 15 to 20 times, and he'll be best on ground most weeks if he's doing that. So we're just seeing his scoring volume. So that second quarter, it shows the impact he can have in short periods of games. And we've lauded the greats that have had that capability. Obviously, Dustin Martin, the most recent. I'm not saying he's Dustin Martin level at this stage, but his last 6-week package, he's growing in confidence. And obviously leading in September, that's a great thing. Contributing to that big number there, Rubes, plus 26 contested possession by the Lions, been outstanding.
Absolutely, and we spoke about pre-game how important their uncontested possession is for the Lions. It actually doesn't matter when you're dominating so strongly in the contested possession. Just to put it into perspective, the Saints' worst uncontested possession loss in the last 5 years is -25. They're at -26 at the moment. Because of plays like this, Lions are getting numbers around the ball. They're running forward ball. They're getting goal side of the Saints and just trusting their players are there. They're getting into really good positions. Currently just outworking St Kilda at the stoppage and then post clearance as well.
Well, spot on. I've been impressed here with their work rate and pressure.
Yeah,
so, I know Corey Enright's obviously passing on some advice to the boys, but the Lions have come ready to play. They've been really impressive. Gutsy win last week, but their energy level today, I've been thoroughly impressed.
There's no such thing as a perfect piece of play, but that bit of vision was almost a perfect piece of transition football. The Brisbane Lions have been in dominant form in the opening half here at Marvel Stadium. They need to continue to put the foot down because the chasing pack wants that top 4 spot. We're going to head to the break, and afterwards we've got all the big news, and there's a massive story breaking out of Collingwood.
The biggest 4x4 camping and outdoors expo is back in Melbourne. The best off-road camping and caravan brands and exclusive show deals August 23 to 25. You don't want to miss this. Tickets at 4x4show.com.au.
Bill's really creeping up on you, huh? Yeah. Not with me. Save money on your favourite streaming apps with Hubble Stack and Save. The more you stack, the more you...
All right, we're back again. We are back again. All right, that was just a few words from the commentators. We don't want to hear the ads. Well, let's get back to have a look at... Did we get to the goal scorers? No, the goal scorers. All right, let's have a look at the leading goal scorers on the ground up until halftime. And of course, it's the big man, Joey Danaher. He loves to kick a goal or 3. He's kicked 3 goals with his 8 disposals, 7 kicks, 3 goals, 1 for the big man down forward for the Lions. Cam Rayner, the bustling bull, he's kicked 2, and Logan Morris has also kicked 2 for the Brisbane Lions. Singles out of Charlie Cameron, Callum Achie, and of course the only lonely goal scorer, Tim Membry, for the Saints. I'm hoping the Saints can sort of lift it and get a few more goals and bring the score back a little bit more closer to get another good game. All right, AFL Fantasy Points, if you play that game. We got 3 players leading the way there. Jack Sinclair, Owen Marshall, Kai Longman, all on 66. Clickety Click 66. Josh Battle on 60. Hugh McCluggage 56. And the rest under that. Let's go over. Let's have a little bit of a look at the team stats now. Well, there you go. That's pretty even in the disposals. It's just the way the ball's being used by the Lions is why they're dominating so much. 182 to 179, only 3 the difference. Saints 1 ahead on the kicks and 4 for the Lions in the handball department. Inside 50s, 18 to St Kilda. So they're getting plenty of chances. As I said, they're just not pinpointing their targets. And it's just wayward kicks going in there, dropping short. Whereas the defender for Brisbane can take an easy uncontested mark and then bring the ball back out of their defensive 50. So for the 18 inside 50s, 4 scoring shots, whereas Brisbane have had 30 inside 50s, 4-12. Disposal efficiency. I'm quite surprising to see that St Kilda is actually at 78%, leading the way there on the Lions at 72. Efficiency inside 50, this is about as low as you can get, 22.2% for the Saints. They're half under their season's average. So that really does need to lift. That needs to lift to at least 40% for them to get him back into this match. 46% for the Lions, doing a much better job. Free kicks, 6-10. The umpires are letting this game go a little bit. So not much happening there with the whistle for them, which is always good to see the game letting roll. The hit-outs, Lions winning that department by 11. The clearances are getting dominated by the Lions, 25-15. And the centre clearances, wow, we have a look at that. 9-1. 9-1. Brisbane are getting the fast ball down to their forward 50 and getting the first opportunity. So they need certainly tighten up their on the Lions midfielders do the Saints. They need to get that ball out and give them stoppage clearances 14 to 16. A couple there to the Lions. Contested possessions. Lions working a little bit harder there. Wow, crazy day off footy. Oh, did they? The Dockers lost. I'm still watching the replay of that, and I'm 3 minutes behind, so I didn't know the final result. Well, there you go. Well done to Eddie G for cashing in his multi at the right time, but unfortunately, yeah, I didn't see that one coming, especially when they went 20 points up. The Bomber, Freo. Then the Bombers came back, and then the Freo extended again. I thought that was enough for them. There we go. Uncontested, the Saints, 131-106. Turnovers, 30-29. Both defences with good pressure there. Let's roll down to the marks. Saints in front on the marks, 77-50. The Lions are kicking long and strong. Marks inside 50. Lions by 2 there. I'm surprised to actually even have seen St Kilda with 4 inside 50 marks there, because they are just not hitting targets inside the forward 50. Contested marks 2 to 6. Lions leading that way. Defensive tackles, well, the St Kilda, they're bringing the pressure, and they had that game in a little bit of an arm wrestle in that second quarter for a bit, which was good. They stemmed the tide, but then the Lions opened up again. 36-27. Tackles inside 50. That's where the Lions are on top. 7-3. And the Lions are doing their 1%ers a little bit better than the Saints. All right, where are we? I'm just going to roll that back up quickly to where we need it for when we go to the third quarter. We're only 5 minutes away from the bounce of the third quarter, folks. So I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. J-Mar, the stats man, what will the final score be, guys? Final score, I think, could be, let me have a little bit of a guess. How about we go St Kilda 8 goals 6 to the Lions 17 goals 5. There we go. I think at some point, I think the Lions, they'll have the margin well and truly in control, and I think they'll just ease off the pedal a little bit. And I think the Saints will get a few returning goals there. So there we go. Crazy day of footy. It certainly was, Eddie. Can you believe it? The upset with a GWS over Hawthorn. Of course, the other bigger upset was the Bombers over the Fremantle Dockers. But of course, this one was always going to be one in the bag. And I think Brisbane Lions were at very juicy odds that I did see at 153. I couldn't believe that. I thought they'd be about 110 for this game. But there we go. Only 4 minutes away from the balance of the ball to get the second half underway. Just make a love shout out to my manager in the BG. Welcome, Lang. Hope you're having a good day there. There we go. What do you think, J-Mo? What do you think the final score will be? What do you think the margin will be? 47 points at the moment. I think they might get it out to maybe about, between 63 and 73. I think it'll be a little bit tighter game come the second half. There we go. All right, folks, I am just going to take a breather, and as soon as the commentators come back, I'll put them on. But stay tuned. We're only 3 minutes away for the bounce of the third quarter.
steal. Wilson backpedals. Certainly found one in Darcy Wilson. Pick 18 in last year's draft as well. Caminiti almost plucked that, but Berry has been played it. No fan for him. Andrews. Almost teasing distance the Saints players, luring him for the inside kick, saying, go on, bite it off. Neil. There's a problem, they blocked the corridor but left Neil free wide. Lyman.
It's an easy attention for McInerney as well.
Just past the outstretched hand of Cam Rayner.
Just break down beyond the ball, mate. You just can't have Kyle Lyman standing on his own 50 metres out of the ball.
It was an interchange. Probably the worst time you could interchange, I reckon.
There's that coach's box with Ross Lyon. Some of the all-time greats of the St Kilda Footy Club. We saw Stewie Lowe in the grandstands earlier. Berry sends it in the Charlie Cameron direction. McLennan, Cameron, McLennan, Cameron! Oh, he hooked him, wrapped him, rolled him. And got him cold.
It's a big area of improvement for St Kilda. They need to go to work on it over the off-season, from a method point of view, but especially a personnel point of view. So just too easy. That wing stoppage, Shadow Brain off the back of it, just on his own. Jared Berry on his own. So they need to be able to correct that. That'll be a big focus area over the off-season.
That's what he has ahead of him. That won't work its way back. It's markable on the goal line. Always was grabbed by Joe. Charlie's starting to find some form at the right end of the year. He almost ran too far. Had the bounce, sends it wide. Andrews got up there. And again, just elects to go with the fist instead of attempting the mark. Ryan Lester picks him up.
Had a tough couple of weeks, Brisbane Lions. Physically had a really hard battle against Sydney Swans. They won by 2 points in last week, an undermanned side. I went down to the Gold Coast and beat them in hot conditions. Interesting from a player management point of view here, late in the game, what they start to think of here at three-quarter time.
Wilson to Filippo, to Hill. In some space. Wants the handball. Sinclair, he's got the over the top. He's got Wood on the bounce. Hasn't seen a lot of it just yet. Thumps it to a good spot. Caminiti's lurking. Almost the mark to Owens. From the scramble, Andrews. All up. Saints fans have done it tough for a long, long time. And they've stuck around here this afternoon. And they're still cheering their guys on to try and fight the fight all the way to the line. Very court high. Seconds ticking down. Final game of the round. 1 quarter left. In round 21, just 3 rounds to go at the conclusion of this one. And the cream's starting to rise to the top. The Brisbane Lions, part of that cream, lead by 59 points with a quarter to play. 13-6-84 for the Saints. 3-7-25.
All right, we're back. B for Games, thanks very much. I didn't realise I still had that on mute. I turned the sound off just for a couple of minutes, just before the start of the third quarter. I'm glad you told me you couldn't hear. And then I realised the sound was off. So thanks for that. I think everyone will appreciate that because now they can rehear the game, the action as it happens. I tell you what. The Saints, at least they got a couple of goals in that quarter. 3-7-25. The Lions 13-6-84. The Lions putting on 4 goals 3 to 2 goals 3 for the Saints. They're giving it a good hot crack, are the Saints, but no match at the moment with the Lions. Let's hope in the final quarter the Saints can get a few more on the board, make the scoreline a little bit more respectable for them. All right, let's have a look at the disposal getter. There we go. And that is Jack Sinclair for the Saints. Can you believe it? He's the leading disposal getter on the field with 23, 16 kicks, 7 handballs, 5 marks, 4 tackles, 1 clearance. Lucky Neal having a good game with McCluggage and Zorko, of course. And, of course, Cam Rayner. Is he becoming the most influential player for Brisbane at the moment? He's breaking tackles left, right and centre, setting up a lot of players into the forward 50 and giving their forwards a great opportunity. He's had 17 disposals, 10 kicks, 7 handballs, 4 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances. So there you go. Malera and Stoker both on 16 for the Saints with Jack Steele. Josh Battle 18. Pilippo is 18. We'll just run down a little bit, as we always do, to show your players' stats, where they're at, how they're going. And then we'll quickly head over to have a look at the goal scorers, seeing what's happening over there. Who's the leading goal scorer on the ground? But at the moment, it's Brisbane doing it pretty comfortably here at Marvel Stadium, taking it all in their stride, and they are definitely looking like the team to beat this year, the way they are in red-hot form. Everything's going their way, which you want it to be this time of year with only 3 rounds left. Joe Danaher leads away with 4 with Cam Rayner on 3. Logan Morris with 2 with Charlie Cameron and Achi. Pilippo has 1 with Membry. Kimantini. There are your goal scorers. There's those with the singles. Just a quick look at the fantasy points. Jack Sinclair 94, Rowan Marshall 91, Jack Steele 85, Loman 85 and Rayner 82. All right, what have we got? A couple of minutes. Let's just have a look. This is the live ladder as we sit right now, folks. This is the live ladder. So if you're a Brisbane supporter fan, you'll be very happy to see this, that they will go into second spot and they will put on a little bit of percentage there, because Fremantle were defeated today by 1 point by Essendon. Essendon move up into 9th position. We go. It's tight, it's tight, it's tight. But here is the team to beat, I think, this year. Brisbane Lions are doing everything right these past few weeks, and their form is red hot. They're playing like a winning team, and this could be enough to seal the deal for them all. I think they will come home with a home final with just 3 rounds left to go. It's hard to see any team that will topple them this year. That's my predictions anyway, folks. That is my predictions. And of course, we just have a look at when this loads up. I'm just going to have a look at the odds for Brisbane Lions for the grand final. There we go. Brisbane are into 350 favourites for the grand final. So they tightened right in over the past few weeks, but that's well and truly earned. All right, folks, we're going to head back down to the ground. I've got the sound on. That's fantastic. All right, so we can catch the last quarter. We'll take you back to the commentators as they will take us in to the bounce of the final quarter, where it's the Lions leading the Saints 13-6-84 to the Saints 3-7-25. Let's head back to the ground.
It's off half back, and this game they have 38 points from that origin. So that's your Dane Zorko, your Darcy Wilmot really getting to work. Dane Zorko 18 disposals this game, so he's doing what he's done really well this whole year.
Charlie Cameron has been subbed out of the clash, we're told by the Brisbane Lions. It's a tactical sub. Jonathan Brown, time to give him a rest, perhaps?
Yeah, freshen your best players up for the final series. They're absolutely in fantastic nick. I'd be surprised if they got beaten from here. Charlie Cameron he's worked really hard today. Offensively, he hasn't had the rewards this year, but I feel as if the last 5 or 6 weeks he's competed really hard. He's brought into the team and gradually starting to get rewarded. I'd be happy with him and just getting through to the finals.
As Ross Lyon say to the Saints, it's just they've lost contested possession in all 3 quarters. So minus 14.
Yeah, well, is
that tactical?
That's tactical. Tactical ice. Put Wanganeen Miller into the centre bounce here.
They need to win contested possession in this last quarter. They've been smacked in all 3 quarters so far.
Is he laughing because it's not severe or because the ice was really cold? Trying to work that out. Dunkley get another clearance. They set it up again from defence. Wilmot blasts it, and Archie, not the second grab. Hill. See if they can salvage something from the rubble in this last quarter. The Saints. Again, every time you look at the screen, there seems like there's more lines.
Ferocious the Lions pressure rate.
They might be 59 points up, but they're not done yet. They can smell more blood and more percentage in this bizarre season where draws, there still might be more draws yet. Brain got there, knocked it away. Wilmot smacks it away. Battle. Stocker. Neil pursues. Back to Battle. Back to the wing. Back to the leapers. Andrews, this time he decides to pluck one rather than put it in row 3.
St Kilda just haven't been able to get free. The Lions' pressure been outstanding, led by their midfielders. Their high half forwards just going to work. Been really impressed because they had a hard game, as I said a couple of weeks ago, against Sydney Swans. We've seen Sydney's drop off since that game.
McInerney forward. Couldn't mark it, but got it to ground. Rayner again with the strength. Got it inside. Ashcroft. Dunkley. He bends it around and it doesn't bend enough. Bounced on its end. Danger. Archie. Step toward the boundary and they'll get the ball in. Dunkley. One of those who's
just gone on the radar a little bit at the moment, hasn't he?
31 possessions last week in the Q class, 6 clearances. Hasn't really had to dominate. Back into play. Neil flips it over his head. Dunkley. Reveal. Straight on. Everyone's getting a feed. It's a feast.
Loose.
Big crowd. Went around the ground here, but he came on. Lockie Neal, too easy at 450 stoppage here. Just sat back off. That's just incredible handball. And then big Bruce Reveal just rolls around Charlie Cameron style. Yeah, Stocker just sort of tilts his head a little bit and loses Lockie Neal there. Josh Dunkley getting involved as well.
With confidence, trying to work his way, stay connected to the team. Bruce. I think Ross Lyon would be disappointed with the clearance return today. So 8 goals from clearance last week, and there was a big improvement in their game, but today they smacked off the park. Yeah, they did. 5 goals to Lions, only a goal to St Kilda. Obviously around contest and clearance, it's been a smacking as well.
Marshall, the big O, has had his measure. Flipped up, allowed to get away with it. Dow wobbles to half forward and Andrews. Thou shalt not pass. He's been dominant again. Heads out wide. Dunkley turns, looks around, wants to go. Does go. Rayner. Wilmot. Zorko. Andrews. Reveal works hard. Wasn't meant to play. Had a few people laid out with the groin issue. So Reveal, one of the emergencies, comes in and he's the sub and he has blasted that long. The big O stands under it.
Josh Dunkley works hard. He's one of the great workhorses in the competition. Premiership player. He's unbelievable the way he runs from one end of the ground to the other, both ways.
There's the pack around this. Ashcroft, Neil, somehow Bailey through the eye of a needle, handball, kick, goal.
Well, St Kilda needs to get a lesson on inside midfield work. Inside contest work.
Stoppage goals there, and at the moment they're being handed. Like I think they'd be smarting last time the Lions 7 weeks ago. They got comprehensively beaten by St Kilda at the stoppage, but that there is. Then Lockie Neal's been the player that's got the ball out of it, who extracted the ball out of the stoppage to get it to to get it to the goal kicker, Zach Bailey here, but great hands.
What the Lions have now is great balance around the contest. So they've got really good inside first-hand players, and Ashcroft and Neil especially. Dunkley's an all-rounder. They're just going to check that as well. Then they've got the guys like McCluggage, Bailey, Rayner, who can be just on the edge.
Loman's another one.
Loman's another one as well. Those dynamic players that can run it out of there. And then you've got Oscar McInerney who can punch it forward.
Little delay on the ball up in the middle here as they check everything that goes through for a goal. That's why they're checking that. Just double check. 71 points the margin.
Okay, arms down, guys.
Might not sound like it needs to be checked, but percentage is going to be huge, perhaps, for the Brisbane Lions.
The problem is the draw, though, Dwayne.
Well, there's other teams that have got a draw.
Yeah.
So Fremantle,
all clear goal
percentage. There could be other teams that have a draw. Brisbane could have another draw between now and the end of the year.
Another one.
Essendon and Freo had a draw for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's right, Brownie.
What happened?
You got stuck in the lift. That's what happened. Neil, knee poke, pursues it. Hill. And it was ridden all the way to the Lions. We head downstairs to Ruby Slicer.
Yeah, the Lions camp are insisting that it is just a tactical sub and that his hammy is okay, just some normal post-match icing. So apparently nothing to worry about for Charlie Cameron.
That's good news. Thanks, Ruby, for those Lions fans, especially watching at home, that might have been a bit nervous about it. Fletcher, low trajectory, and that works. Everything has worked for the Lions. Bailey can line up for another. Even the things that have gone wrong have gone right.
That was a shank, Dwayne, but the Lions there, they just actually pushed out of it. Was Shadow Brain that went first. He actually went sort of 20 metres over the man on the mark in a space where you normally not kick the ball, but as was the skills just to pop it over the top of him. Now I think Brain was going to try and kick it longer there, but Bailey did exactly the same move. Popped in 20, 30 metres ahead of the ball there and just found himself in the right place at the right time.
Crowd's thinned out a little. The Lions fans are sticking around. 77 points and growing.
They've got a strong contingent too of Melbourne supporters at the old Fitzroy days. Very proud of their team. They're wearing the red Fitzroy as well. Another Melbourne game to come in a fortnight's time against the resurgent Collingwood at the MCG. But got a very good record here at Marvel Stadium. They won most of their recent contests. So they've certainly got no fears about this ground. Good signs too, Zach Bailey. Just starting to work his way back to form the last few weeks.
Cam Rayner watched for broken tackles, 4. The record's 8. Now, Champion started taking this stat in 2011. So, Brownie, you got 4 years. How many do you reckon you had in 4 years?
I might be in the minus category.
0.
Minus.
0 broken tackles.
I might have had a crack at it. Check the holding the ball against.
Shoot, they'll have to sit between you for the rest of the commentary. Ball toward half forward from the scramble. Player still going hard. Reville was cleverly knocking it away. Didn't really take possession. Jones. Filippo takes on Reville and lost. Kind of won. Got it to Sinclair off the deck. To Steele. He's had a tough day with the captain. And that's a mark. Got to pay that. So, chance for Wood to get himself a consolation prize.
I reckon this is where Chris Fagan going to be analysing this last quarter more so than any other quarter today. We'd really want the Lions to be ruthless and make sure they don't flirt with their form. That's a good mark there by Mason Wood.
Normally pretty reliable. 13 goals, 7 for the season coming into this.
Just want to tidy up in the broken tackle debate too. I've got Jack Rowe at Rewald. Just check the stats. He's had 347 games, Jack, for 19 broken tackles.
So 19 more than you recorded.
So he averaged 0.05.
You had 0. You had 0, I had 19. Pretty simple.
Wide ball. Two premiership guns going head-to-head in the commentary box with them.
I can see him on the sneaky button here just asking the stats gurus what's going on.
You're not exactly the authority on broken tackles.
And I taught Dustin how to do it.
Just because you played with one of the great
week
tackle breakers of all
one he
time.
rolled in and I said, Duz, I think you might have this in your game. There you go, fend off.
Who would have won out of the two teams if you went head-to-head? Your Lions team, Jono, or
we'll never know.
Or the Richmond team?
There's only one that won 3 in a row, Dwayne, so you'd probably give them the edge, wouldn't you?
Just thought I'd confirm that. Zorko to the middle, almost cut off by Butler. A chip kick, brain to Fletcher. They're not done yet. Wilmot, he could load up. He doesn't. He danced the dance, got inside 50. Smith to Berry. Needs a kick bounce. He gets a little kick bounce and Battle read it. Hands it over. Howard. Down. McLennan, dangerous, but the kid's having a go. Bailey, with luggage. They take him on, holds it in, gives it up. It's like a picnic out there. They're having some fun, the Lions. Just taking it on at every chance. Lyman, Court, Fletcher, Reveal. Joe will finish it. He's talking a big number, Joe. He hits the post. That was for number 5.
Sort of a handball training drill in front of the goals of who was going to have the shot.
They're getting scary good right now, the Lions. The rest of the competition, if you're watching this, they are looking ominous. Bailey. Berry. Zorko. Pulls the kick late. Down to her territory and nicely gathered by Battle. Corralled for a second. Heads wide. Brain might float in here. He does. Went with the fist. Sharman. Jones got a handball from McLennan to Filippo. Wood. Pumps it to the pocket to Membry, who was good early. Hasn't seen it for a while.
Great kick.
He's tried hard to Membry, Rara.
Yeah, he has. He has tried hard. Tried to lead. He just about to service upfield, hasn't it? 35 inside 50s for the day. Makes it really difficult for a forward, no matter who you are.
Plenty of Lions fans in the house, as you can see. Granny said a lot of old Fitzroy fans have stuck around with the Lions on their traditional strip. Membry struck that magnificently. It's just gone across the face and almost marked on the big O. Wilmot wants to play on quickly. Denied that chance. They've been cruel to be kind here, the Lions. They haven't put the cue in the rack at all. They're playing this out. Berry.
Yeah, a big game next week against GWS at the Gabba. So GWS got over Hawthorn today. An in-form Hawthorn. Great comeback. That's going to be a huge game.
Lyman got up there in the pack. Leonie Malera gave it to Danaher. To Ashcroft. To Bailey. Looked outside. Went inside to Leicester. Gave it to Wilmot. Plenty of options. McCluggage from the 50. Bang!
Well this year, him and Claggage, some of his goal kicking. Yeah, it was maligned early in his career for his goal kicking.
Set shot probably more so than him.
Yeah, but he's absolutely, But he's really important. He just knows how to find a way to get on the edge of a contest. Just become a second, third receiver. Such a classy player.
Loved Ashcroft there as well. Early in the game, he was getting that and just putting it on the foot, sort of blasting it forward, thinking time and territory. But then just actually found that handball to get it out.
Well, the future's so bright. I've got to wear shades.
They transition lenses or something. Jeepers creepers.
Our future is bright. If you're a Lions fan right now, they're back in contention. Hard to believe this team lost 5 of their first 7 games.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Silver lining was, though, a lot of injuries, and so they had to expose a heap of young players. And obviously these young players are starting to shine. Lyman's one of them. Morris.
Rayner, some have grown this season. Not their number one pick in 2017. Cam Rayner to McLeod. He was shut down. But you're right about the young kids. So Kyle Oman eligible for the Rising Star. Logan Morris has been nominated this year. Shadow Brain, Game 7. They found him out of nowhere. Henry Smith.
Fletcher.
Yep. Yeah, it's hard to... You tend to forget Fletcher and Ashcroft. They're still so young.
You're right, though. They've grown. They've taken more responsibility.
Joe.
God, that's a good kick.
And his hands... Brilliant there too from Joe. For number 5.
Beautiful kick, Bruce. It's a powerful kick. It gets there very quickly. But you're right, they've grown in that role, Dwayne, because of those injuries to the senior players. I think the younger players, even if they played last year and some had grand final experience, all of a sudden they would have felt more like senior players, especially when they were 2 and 5. And I think that's really put the Lions in good shape.
The Lions' biggest ever win over the Saints is 97 points. And they lead by 83 now.
There's another one that looks like he's really hungry for his spot in his side. Bruce Revere obviously came in because of the Hipwood laid out today. Loman's been fighting for his spot. It just gives you great internal competition to play, and that only promotes growth as well within your side.
I think Madden was close to getting a game 2 for the Lions, one of their emergencies. Down the middle, Butler. Wangani Malera out wide to Caminiti. Can he get it and go? Brain got there, speaking to the young guns, and he doesn't want to take it out. Keep it alive to Leicester. He's going to celebrate game 200 in style when they cheer him off in a few minutes from now. And what a great contributor he has been. He's a Victorian, so there'll be plenty of family in the house, as you saw, whether that went out or not. But yeah, 200th game, originally a pick 28, 2010. Ryan Lester dropped to the rookie list.
Yeah, one of the great teammates, Dwayne. I played with him, fortunate enough to play with Froggy. He's an absolute beauty.
He's not at the top of the list when it comes to fame and probably fortune, but he's up the top of the list for respect, Brownie.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Always regularly on the leadership group, even when he wasn't a regular senior player.
There's the grab from Lockie Neal on the run there to reveal. Trapped it. Fed wide. Filippo turns it over Zorko. And you were telling us the story pre-game about why he wears 35, Ryan Lester?
Yeah, Robert Harvey was his idol. He was a St Kilda supporter growing up. Brother-in-law with Dane Zorko.
Just to rub that in for St Kilda supporters. Thanks for that, Brownie. Who else wore 35 for the Lions, Brownie?
35. Jeez.
Chip kick wide to Joe. I thought there was a few people that said your father wore.
He must have worn it in his reserves days because he was number 2 the majority of his career. He may have started in 35.
There was the great Robert Harvey.
And what a player he was, dual Brownlow medalist.
Yeah, an amazing career. 383 games. St Kilda games record holder Robert Harvey. So Joe Danaher.
He's had a big day, Joe.
For number 5. Goal square. Cam Rayner got up, but couldn't get up high enough.
The impressive things for Brisbane is just it's been a well-rounded performance as well. Their stars have played well, but they haven't dominated over probably Rayner. But they've had those young guns playing roles as well.
Chip kick. Good tackle. Laid by Neil.
Great thing about every part of their game has been in really good shape today and consistently through the 4 quarters. Obviously, St Kilda's pressure's dropped off, but the Lions have set it up well. So it just shows you the way their senior players have led with the pressure.
McCluggage doesn't wind up. He hits wide to Archie, but he's hitting too wide for him.
You're the most recent there, Jack. That shows me it's a team wanting to stay with
Great
good habits.
Really good synergy, I reckon. I reckon connection's the most important thing going into a final series. You want to know that every part of your game is connected. Now it's offense, defense, and contest. But at the moment, it just looks like it's working well because they all do affect each other. But at the moment, they just look like every aspect is just well-rounded.
Embry to Wangani Malera. He's got McLennan in the middle. got Wilkie out wide. Had a few kicked on him tonight. He's an accountant. I know exactly how many. I think just the 2. Heads to Marshall. And he says, I'm going for home.
Unfortunately, you can't negative gear those ones.
No, you can't. But maybe at least the Saints are going to be able to get something out of this. They've got Richmond next week. Winnable game for them. Oh, he pulls the kick late to Jones. Clever from Marshall. And we talked about the Lions run home. Richmond at Marvel next week for the Saints, so maybe they can salvage from the rubble a couple of victories to end this season. Short pass again. And a short pass again. All right, so Marshall, who started all this, will have the shot from a more central position.
Part of the greater plan, I think, there's Rowan Marshall. Knew he didn't have the distance from 50 on the logo, so he thought I'll get 2 or 3 passes and then he shot a bit closer. He's been well beaten today by Oscar McInerney, though.
They would have done their homework last week. Rowan Marshall, 26 possessions, 10 marks, 8 clearances in a dominant performance. Normally a pretty good goal kicker, though. Was a forward as a kid, and there's a little bit of that martial art, if you like, gets it through.
He needs some help next year.
Is he your number 1, mate?
Well, the thing that hampers him is his height. So he comes against a big man like Oscar McInerney, makes it really difficult. From a hit-out point of view, Oscar McInerney's 12 hit-outs to advantage today.
Because he's tried to work him forward, but by doing that, because Brisbane have dominated stoppage and dominated the time in forward half, he's taken himself away from the ball a lot today. So, I just think just constantly work. Doesn't have to be working back. Doesn't have to be working forward. It's actually just try and get in the game as much as possible. I reckon they've tried to outsmart and try and expose McInerney forward. It just hasn't worked for him.
The Grinch wouldn't be happy with this performance.
He's been beaten by Whoville tonight. As the Grinch.
You've been waiting for one of us to say the Grinch, haven't you?
Well, he got himself the Grinch during the week. They could still ruin it for a few other teams. As Lyman has taken in the tackle.
He's so Dwayne. He's one of the excitement machines, Dwayne.
He is.
Who's emerged in the second half of the year, Kyle Loman.
Little hand off. Bringing in Malera. Owens had the wrong tyres. Goes back in, knocks it down after slipping, got back up quickly. Chip kick, middle of the ground. Wood. Still a chance to wallpaper over some cracks here for the Saints. Get a couple of late ones. Inside 50, Caminiti past his reach, and again, he just outread the lot of them, Harris Andrews. Stood his ground and the ball came to him. Neal. Possession 29. So heading for another 30 possession day at the office. Lockie Neal, and gee, there's going to be some contenders for the Brownlow this year when you think about how good a form some of the superstars of the competition like Marcus Potapelli, Patrick Cripps, etc., Nick Dacos are in. And he gets a lot of votes, no need to tell you that, Lockie Neal. In fact, the big O, 1 vote in 147 games. He's the man who palms it to him. Hardly ever gets a vote. They do know when Lockie Neal plays well. Dunkley through the traffic, gets it back to him. Possession 30. Dance step was delightful. Heads long, or Joe go. Joe stays down. Archie tried to kick it to him. And Joe tried to keep it alive, and he did. Kept it in. Randy Malera can't drag that through now. He's not, well, obviously waited for the pressure and then backed it through.
Well, the Saints' lowest score against Brisbane Bears or Lions is 45 points. So they're currently at 33.
Wood. Steele left it behind. Back to Wood. Membry. Hill. Pumps it long. He's looking for Higgins. Starcevic, Higgins. Starcevic has had his number all evening.
Yeah, big game next week for him. Probably play on, he's not getting his head taken off by Harris Andrews.
Oh, man.
Probably gets Toby Green.
Yeah, we think so.
Toby Green's back in great form for the Giants.
Top 4 clash next week. That's going to be fascinating, that game.
3 home and away rounds left. After this one's done, Neil wreaking havoc again, and again finds the target. He ran across his defensive goal knowing there'd be an option. It's Bailey.
Does Rayner get the 3 today, or is Lockie Neil? So we're talking about Bontempelli's performance. We saw that on Friday night. Probably gets 3. Neil's going to at least get 2. It's going to be a great clash that Monday before the grand final, Dwayne.
Yep.
The Brownlow medal. Could be the first modern-day player, the first player in 50 years to win 3 Brownlow medals.
Morris got up there, couldn't mark it. Would be all happy with a 3 or 4-way tie. It's hard to...
Danaher's had 17 and kick 4.
That's true.
Well,
that'd probably be good for 1 vote. He's a forward.
Sticking up for the forwards, you two, as always. Steele, Sharman, Hill, the Wanganeen Malera stripped, and McCluggage is not done yet. Hands it up. Fletcher looks inside. Caught, couldn't get the push off. Couldn't get the push off.
4 broken tackles.
A bit unfair. He had 2 blokes hanging off.
A bit unfair. Come on, Brown. It's footy.
Steele.
A bit unfair.
Thumps it down the line. Owens from the side.
He's hurt too.
He is. He's going for a few tonight.
Cracking the air. Harris going over to help him out.
McCluggage. Archie turns. Joe is free. He's on the move. Right off the deck. That's crazy stuff from Joe. That's all part of the Joe show.
Yes.
Had time to pick that up. Even the bench can laugh.
Well, I think there's an element of what's he doing? A bit of grit in his teeth there. Chris Fagan.
Fags loves him. He embraces Joe.
Oh, dear.
Back into play. Glad scores aren't level. He's the kind of guy who'd probably do that even if scores were. Battle. Half court to Wilkie. Looks up. He's got Wilson running for him. Hope pass is good. Oh, no, it's not down. Speaking of fighting for spots in the team. Bailey. Zach goes whack. He's been lively.
He's got 3 now, Zach Bailey. As we said, we've spoken in the commentaries throughout the day, pre-game, that he's building back into form. Along with Rayner, he's got that X factor about him, no question. He just obviously makes the most of Gow's mistake here. But he's going to be really important. We saw what he did on grand final day on occasion. He's a real spark for the Lions. We need him up and about. His energy has been very good today.
Sitting on the bench there. A bit of a heavy fall from this aerial contest there. Sort of a good run on game 50 though.
Saints next gen academy player, milestone. Japanese, hence the name Michito. Sinclair got it for Steele. Membry turns and goes to the lead. Marshall drifts back into the hole, and he can get himself a consolation prize. Can finish the afternoon with 2, which will look good in the paper tomorrow, even if it's been Oscar McInerney who's got the points.
45 points there. That's the score. Previous worst score against the Brisbane Lions and Bears for the Saints. Let's get them just a little bit closer if this one can go through.
And he nails it. It could be a key forward if I can get another one right.
Well, it could be, really. You know, we know the importance of those guys that can be the hybrid ruckman and forward. Does he have that ability to go there when Max Kings comes back in the lineup? Obviously, he'll be there. Sharman and Camerini have shown some signs. Certainly a consideration for St Kilda going forward. His numbers are pretty good today, which came late.
He was a full forward for North Ballarat. He wasn't drafted initially. He was too light to be drafted. New Zealand born, Portland, Victoria raised. Had to put on some kilos before he ended up getting picked up in the draft. Ron Marshall.
Good dairy farmer, tough boy.
I like it. Smith rolls it inside 50. The big O playing at the other end. Maybe he wants to be a key forward too. Battle, ducked out of it. Knocked it away off Fletcher. Well, the sea's parted for him. Cherry on top for the Lions.
It's another one of the exciting youngsters here for Brisbane.
Yeah, I think the conference builders, Jack, because he's another guy that just struggled in the first half of the year. He's just gradually starting to work his way back into form, and that's been a positive for the Lions, I think, the last 3 or 4 weeks. Just some of those guys that were a bit flat early in the year, for whatever reason, for different reasons, just starting to now individually get back into some form, which is important into September. You need all your cylinders firing.
It's a good reflection on where they're at, though, as well. But they're playing good footy. Is that those players that maybe rely on older players playing well then start to perform as well and start to realise their own potential. So young player comes in and looks to find his space and where he fits in the team, but then all of a sudden goes, now I belong.
That was the Lions run home. They get an MCG game just for a little bit of practice there, just in case they're back in September.
Wilmot's exactly the same.
Yeah,
he probably came in with a little bit more confidence. He debuted in the final, but he just looks like he's running on top of the ground at the moment.
Giants at the Gabba, Collingwood MCG, Essendon at the Gabba.
Well, it could be a Friday night. The draw will get released this week by the AFL for round 24, but that looks the biggest blockbuster game. Essendon, well, maybe. Just up the road from home. Get piped to go on a road trip.
The Lions chant ringing around Marvel Stadium. Ladies and gentlemen, your premiership favourites, the Brisbane Lions, by 85 points. 19-10-124 to 5-9-39. 9 wins in a row for last year's beaten grand finalist.
Well, we've heard that tune a little bit over the games the last week or so, being based on the French national anthem. They won the mighty Lions. Sarah Jones is sitting out there to give an interview post-game. Charlie Campbell looks like he's okay as a tactical sub. But yeah, very powerful display again today. They're really humming out there. After having a tough few weeks, tough couple of games, comprehensive win tonight. A lot of players individually be very happy with their own performances, especially this man, not only today, Cam Rayner, but for the last few weeks with Sarah Jones.
Brownie, the Lions were scary good today. That was a dominant performance right from the beginning. How important was it to be ruthless right up until that final siren?
Yeah, that's a great word to use, ruthless, and that's really been what we wanted to come out and do today. We're really mature. We know the Saints have been in some good form the last couple of weeks, so to be able to come here and put in that performance is really good.
You've had to fight and scrap to get to this point after a slow start to the season, but 9 wins in a row. You have all the momentum now. Do you feel like you can ride that wave all the way to September?
Well, that's the plan. It's just great to have a lot of confidence in the group. I feel like at the start of the year we had that confidence, but it just wasn't really turning into results. So the ability of this group to stay together, stick together as brothers and keep pounding the rock, as we say, it's been phenomenal, and I can't be more proud of the boys.
3 goals for yourself today, including a brilliant one from the pocket over there and a nice little flex in the celebration. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, no, it was good. I broke the tackle, but I think it would come off the inside of the boot. It was a little bit skinny, but Jared Berry's a bit flat. I think he's at the back for a handball, so I might have to go buy him coffee this week.
You were breaking tackles left, right and centre today. Jonathan Brown spoke before the game about your potential to become that Dustin Martin type player for the Brisbane Lions. Is that what you aspire to?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've got a lot of clarity in my role now, and I've got a lot of confidence going into the last couple of weeks. So to be able to come out and have an impact, and I feel like my teammates can ride off the performances I can do. So it's just been really pleasing, and I'm happy that I can bring that to the team and to the fans as well.
Might be a bit of a fight on your hands for the 3 Brownlow votes because Lockie Neal also was brilliant today. Do you marvel at his consistency to keep performing week in, week out at a ridiculously high level?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Like the perfect example of that handball at the end for the goal. Like there's not many people in the competition that can do that, and he does it week in, week out, and he's without a doubt the best player I've played with. And we talk about people that can lift up a team, being able to run out with him and Harris as well as our captain. It's just inspiring every week.
People are going to look at today's performance, see the big scoreline and go, that was just a brilliant win. But I'm sure there's some things that you want to tweak and work on in that runway to September. What's still to improve with this group?
Yeah, I think we probably dropped off a little bit in that third quarter. I think we might have only had 3 or 4 tackles that quarter. So I feel like our room for improvement is just consistently playing out games. And I feel like this year more than ever, you really got to make sure you play the 4 quarters because things have been happening left, right and centre. So that consistency that we're striving for, it's been better than the start of the year, but there's still room to go.
Job well done today. Good luck against the Giants at home next week.
Thanks, Sarah. Cheers.
So that makes it 9 wins on the trot, the form team of the competition, and they surge up into the top 2 on the ladder. They are going to be one of the teams to beat come September, and the misery continues for the Saints as 2024 gets into the last month of the home and away season. No more football for the weekend. Now we sit back, and over the next hour or so,
all right, folks, there we go. What a game. Well, a little bit disappointing for those St Kilda fans out there, but very, very happy supporters of the Brisbane Lions, where they go on for a big victory, 19-10-124, defeating the Saints 5-9-39. What's that, 85 points? That's a little bit bigger margin than we thought, but there we go. I think the Lions are going to be the team to beat this coming year for the flag. You look at their performances, just so strong in every area of their game. They're into 350 there. Freo can't give up. They're still 6 on the... Yeah, don't give up on Freo just yet. They're only a game out of the top 4. Anything can happen, especially when you're in the top 4. Absolutely. I think you'd probably... I don't know. Who would you want to play if you finished 3rd and 4th? Who would you want to play if Brisbane and Port Adelaide finished 1st and 2nd? Tell you what, they're both going pretty well. But as you can see by the worm here, it was just all the Lions in the first quarter, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The Lions put on 4 goals in the first, 5 in the second, 4 in the third and 6 goals, 4 in the final term. The Saints could only manage 2 goals, 2 in that final term. There we go. That wraps up another round of football this week, folks. But let's have a look at the disposals for your players, if that's what you like to see. Lockie Neal. There we go. I tell you what, he's a master. That's why he's a dual Brownlow medalist. He's had 33 touches. Looking dangerous, every one of them. 33 touches, 17 kicks, 16 handballs, 6 marks, 2 tackles. But wow, 13 clearances. Just brilliant. All he needed, folks, all Lockie Neal needed was a goal, and he would have been complete on that match. But what a stunning game. Jack Sinclair did his best there for the Saints. He had 30 touches, 21 kicks, 9 handballs, 6 marks, 9 tackles, 1 clearance. He did his best for sure. McCluggage, don't forget your luggage. 28 there for the Lions with Dane Zorko. 26, of course, the top players on the top of the leaders board with their disposals there. Plopo, Battle and Malera all did pretty well, 24 and 23. Jack Steele, 23, all reasonably good for the Saints, but they just could not penetrate the defence of the Brisbane Lions. They were just way too strong. And they did look like it was the big boys up against the little boys playing the game today. Now, that being said, St Kilda probably did look a little bit tired in the latter of that final quarter, and throughout the game they seemed to be chasing their tails quite often, as the result sort of shows in the final siren. Rayner, tell you what, he is one gun player, coming of age, coming into form for the Lions. I think they're putting him down as the next Dusty Martin. 22 touches, 12 kicks, 10 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 3 goals. A great game there. Joey Danaher, he had a fun day out today. He had his smile on his dial and he had a fun day with 18 touches, 14 kicks. You know when he has a fun day because he actually gives off a handball, and he had 4 of them today, 4 handballs for Joey Danaher, 6 marks, he had a clearance, 4 goals, 3. Fantastic job, Joey Danaher. Will Ashcroft with 18 with Andrews. Liam Stoker and Marshall 17 each of 2 for the Saints. We'll just keep rolling down slowly so you can see your player, the one you're searching for, see how their stats went. And there we go, all the way down to the bottom. Jack Higgins was the lowest disposal getter with 4 for the day. It was all kicks. All right, let's roll this back up and we'll actually have a look and see who scored all the goals today, this afternoon. And that, of course, was Joey Danaher. He led the way with a great performance with 4 goals, 3 from his 14 kicks. Cam Rayner and Zach Bailey, next best with 3 each of 2. Logan Morris with a couple there. Charlie Cameron, Callum Archie also had 2 for the Lions. Bruce Revel, Hugh McCluggage and Fletcher also single goal scorers for the Brisbane Lions. The only multiple goal scorer for the Saints was Rowan Marshall with 2, and Piplu and Membry had 1 each with Kamaniti. There we go. Let's have a look at the fantasy points. You play the game. I always like to show this in case the good folks out there play that. Jack Sinclair, well, there you go. 136 led the way on the AFL fantasy points. Rowan Marshall with 130, a couple of good scores there from those 2 fellas. Hugh McCluggage, 110. Lockie Neal, 109. Jack Steele, 108. Dane Zorko, 105. And all the others under 100. Looking at the team stats now. Let's head over there. And it was the Lions in disposals overall by 34. 27 more kicks and only the 7 more handballs. So the dominance of the scoreline doesn't quite show in the disposals. It was just how the ball was used. And that was used by the classy Brisbane Lions. So very, very well. Inside 50s, Brisbane dominated there 56 to 39. Disposal efficiency, 77% from the Saints. That was the Saints on the left, yes, wasn't it? It was 77. So not too bad for them. They were above their season average. So they'll be happy with that. And Brisbane pretty much on their average. Inside 50 efficiency, St Kilda under their average. They were a little bit low, but they did pick that up from their 22% earlier in the game. And of course, Brisbane Lions 20% higher. Free kicks 9 to 15. As I said, the umpire was the 4 umpires out there. They had the whistle put away. Wasn't too much going on out there in those indiscretions. The stoppages, the Lions well on top there, 48 to 22. Wow, that's a big discrepancy. The clearances, exactly the same, 48 to 27, a big discrepancy. Lions well on top there. The centre clearances, the Saints came back a little bit with 7, and of course the Lions did a great job with 15, taking that out as well as with the stoppage clearances, 33 to 20. So have a look at the possessions, the contested possessions. The Lions, they just wanted a lot more. And of course, 138.97 uncontested. And the Saints came out on top by 11. The turnovers, 60 to 55. Not too bad from both teams. Kept under their season average. St Kilda in front on the marks there by 15 overall. Marks inside 50. Well, St Kilda ended up with the more marks inside 50, 15 to 12, and the contested marks, the Brisbane Lions stronger in the air, 12 to 5. Defensive tackles, St Kilda put under the pressure with the influx of the Brisbane coming into the Brisbane forward line. So they had to tackle a little bit more. 67-43 and tackles inside 50, 10 to 9. The 1 percenters, around about the same, 35-41 each. There we go. Now if we go over, we'll have a look. Let me reload this and put the live ladder up. While it loads up, let me just go back to the score line there, just for any latecomers coming in while I wait for this ladder to readjust. And there we go. There is the live ladder that is the ladder, folks. After round 21, we've got 3 more rounds to go in the home and away season. And with Brisbane's win today, they go up into second position, only half a game behind the Sydney Swans, who are faltering badly. And soon will be off the top of the ladder, I think, and Brisbane quite possibly will take that mantelpiece. So very good. They picked up quite a bit of percentage there today, the Brisbane Lions. So all smiles and happiness coming from the Brisbane camp, moving up into second position and looking forward to finishing a minimum top 4. But one would think top 2 to get a home final. There we go. And of course, St Kilda down there in 14th spot. They've only just had the 8 wins for the season and 12 losses. So they've had a pretty tough year. But the Brisbane Lions, after losing their first 5 games of the year, if my memory serves me correct, they've won 13, lost 6 and 1 draw. So they've done really well since that. So the Brisbane Lions, fantastic job. Next week, looking at the round next week, for the Brisbane Lions, they play the Giants at the Gabba, so they've got a home game next week, the Brisbane Lions. Should be a very, very good match. Of course, we saw today where the Giants took down the ferocious Hawthorn Hawks. So that was a great comeback win from the Giants. So that's going to be another great match next Saturday, Brisbane Lions and the Giants. And of course, the week after that, the Lions have got the mighty Magpies at the MCG. That should be another fantastic game. One that I hope the Pies can win. Go Pies. But you know what? They're going to have a little bit of struggle to do that. And of course, the last game will be Brisbane versus Essendon. Should be another good win for Brisbane Lions. So we should think Brisbane will win at least another 2 out of their 3 games before season ends. All right, Santa All. So we had the AO managers in the house. Mega love shout out. Hey bestie, what's going on? We did have the where was that now? My gosh, can I find that? There we go. We had the poll on who would win the game today, and of course 69 votes we had. Brisbane Lion had the most of that, 76% saying Brisbane Lions would win. 23% said St Kilda, and 1% went to the, I don't know, got dissolved in there. It always, I don't know why it always misses. I always say that. There we go, Santa All. There we go. Always misses. All right, let me just turn this around for a bit. We'll say g'day to everybody out there. G'day everyone. What's going on out there in footy land, wherever you are? Ryan, how you going, Squire? What's going on? Hey Lang, what's going on? Yeah, Ryan, I tell you what, the Lions are roaring. They are by far the team to beat this year. Into favourites now at 350. I think they're going to be pretty hard to beat for the flag. You know, especially after last year, they'll be super hungry to win this one and not let it happen again. Is that better? You can hear me now? I think my battery went, I think I had low bat and a battery cut out. So there we go. Oh, yay, doing good. Yeah, they're doing good. Hey, bro from Tine. Hey, Sisan from Ryan. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, so the votes were good. Looking forward. I know only three weeks of home and away season left. So it's going to be a bit sad when the footy ends, but that's all right. After that, then we come into the home and away. Then we come into the finals, and they're going to be some ring-a-ding-ding cracker games coming into the final series of the AFL season this year, where any one of the teams that make the top 8, they're a chance because you know they're all playing pretty good football. Richmond Tigers, you'll wait for next year. It might be waiting a little bit longer than next year. The good thing is though, you know, finishing on bottom of the ladder is where they'll definitely want to end up. is that, you know, they'll get a better draft picked. They'll get a better draft picked, and so that's good for them. That's good for them. And one of the good things, Ryan, the Pies are got to play Richmond, so hopefully we'll put that down as a win. But then we've still got to beat Sydney and Brisbane. I think Sydney and Brisbane. Did I say that? I think that's who the Pies play. I thought it was Melbourne, but it could be Brisbane. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming in. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I hope you enjoyed the football. Here on the coverage of the couple of games I did today, of course, Hawthorn and the Giants, and of course this one tonight, St Kilda and the Lions, and the ones on yesterday and of course Friday. So the next game, let me have a look. Bro Ryan, hello bro Ryan. Your bro Ryan. What's going on? How was your day, Ryan? How was your day, Tina? How was your day? Hopefully both of you had a good day. So next Friday night we've got Sydney Swans, the league ladder holders, on top, playing the mighty Magpies. Let's hope for the Magpies to win that game, because the Sydney Swans form is very, very ordinary at the moment, and the Pies form is quite okay, quite good. Brisbane then play the Giants next Saturday. North Melbourne play the West Coast Eagles. That'll be an interesting match, who wins that game. And then another big match coming up next week is, of course, the Fremantle Dockers take on the Geelong Cats over in Optus Stadium in Perth. That'll be a good game, and of course Addy G will be biting his fingernails over there, wanting and hoping and praying that the Fremantle Dockers can get up so they can remain in the hunt for the finals. Now going back to that Friday game, Sydney Swans and Collingwood, 146 Sydney, they're going in this game favourites, which is a little bit, I can't understand this. 272 the Magpies. Yeah, well, I think I'd be having a little something on the Magpies at those juicy odds, because the Swans form is horrendous at the moment, absolutely horrendous. They got beaten by over 100 points on the weekend. I couldn't be backing the team at favourites from the week before they got beaten by that much. My day was good after going for a walk. I know, I saw you have a walk. It was a good walk. I you know what, I had such a long walk yesterday. I was aching. It was such a long walk. So yeah, I just took it easy today. Took it easy, relaxed. You know what I could have done with today? A massage. That would have been perfect. That would have been perfect. Would have just healed the body. Would have healed the body. So then the next game next week, we've got Essendon and the Gold Coast Suns. That's going to be another tight, close game. Of course, Essendon beat Fremantle today. And then we've got Melbourne and Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide looking to go on top of the ladder if they can win. And the next big game, I tell you what, this is going to be a ring-a-ding-ding game of the round. I reckon Carlton and Hawthorn next Sunday. That is going to be one fantastic game. That's going to be at the MCG. I think that's going to be a blockbuster crowd in there. So it's going to be, that's going to be great. That is going to be fantastic. Definitely stay tuned. You don't want to miss that one. Of course, both teams losing by 2 to 3 points in the game, their respective games this week. Of course, Carlton got beaten by Collingwood by about 3 points, I think it was, and Hawthorn were about the same, 2 points, I think, to GWS today. And then, of course, we've got Ryan, we've got your team, Richmond versus St Kilda at Marvel Stadium. I tell you what, you know, the funny thing is, you're probably a chance. My day is super good after church. I'm super glad your day is super good. That's what we like to hear. We like to hear good things about your day. I tell you, it's nice. It's nice, and you know what? That I like that. The church where I stayed, opposite where I stay, I like that. I like that place. It was nice feel just walking in there. You know, you can light the candle there, sit there, and that was beautiful. Happy Sunday, everybody, from the manager, Tine Bim Bim. Sanol. Ryan, your team might win next week. They've got to play St Kilda at Marvel Stadium. So I think, you know, I think they can afford to win, especially if North Melbourne beat the Eagles. I think they can afford to win. And then, of course, the next game is going to be a fantastic game also, Adelaide to Footscray. So that wraps it up for who's playing next week. You know what? The ladder positions again next week are going to change, and it's going to be very interesting to see who's sitting where on the ladder. There we go. So that's it. That's today's game. That's today's weekend of football. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So there we go. Just looking at the chat. Ryan's doing good. Yeah, there we go. That's about it. I think I'm a little bit out of words. Anyway, for anyone who's watching who just came in, this was St Kilda taking on the Brisbane Lions today at Marvel Stadium, where the Brisbane Lions were big victors, 19-10, 124 to 5-9-39. Brisbane Lions now sitting second on the ladder, a half a game under Sydney Swans and a half a game above third. So really looking forward to next week's matches and the final rounds of the home and away season. I think we've still got a few, well, I don't know, magic tricks in the bag for how the ladder's going to form. Some will change, some will stay, some will go up, some will go down, some will be happy, some will be sad, not being quite where they are, but, you know, that's football, that's sport, and that's how it goes. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Yes. So the game is finished now. The game is over. The game finished. Oh, maybe 10 minutes ago. Somewhere like that. Ciao for now. See you in the next video. So no, all right. You know what? I'm not sure when I'm gonna do the next normal live. I am trying to work out when to do a live with the manager there, just to sort of point out, you know, the top, you know, 5 or 7 things in the Philippines to do, especially from what I did then. You know, I'll probably do a StreamYard with her so she can come up. So that would be good. That would be good to do a live like that, and that way it gives a few people who watch it, you know, a little bit of idea of where they can go and what things they can do when they're over there if they're going to visit or something like that. So that might be my next normal live, not like covering the football or whatever. I know I haven't done many normal lives, Ryan, for a little while. But that's right. I nearly did one yesterday when I was out walking, but yeah, I was just a little bit tired yesterday after walking. It was long. I don't know what we walked. I must have done about 12,000 steps, and we're going up and down and through parks. So yeah. So there we go. I know I'm gonna have to get back onto it. I'll probably get back onto doing some just normal lives, you know, like I used to do after the footy or somewhere there, because we've got 3 weeks left of the home and away season, and then it's about 4 weeks of footy finals. And you know, covering the footy like this, it takes up a lot of the weekend, because you know, because if you do like 3 games on the Saturday, you know, you're there from about 1 o'clock until, you know, 7:30 or something like that, just sort of covering the football. And then of course your Friday night you got the football, the Sunday usually a couple of games covered, but that's probably for the next 3 weeks, and then it'll lessen off because the finals come up, and I think we'll have maybe 4 games in the first week of the finals. Hang on a minute, I need Oh, bless me. Oh, I just had to sneeze then. My gosh. My gosh. But yeah, we'll have that. We'll have the footy finals. I think there's 4 games in the first week, maybe a couple in the next, I think 1, 2, something like that. It's about four games in the first week, maybe 2 or 4 in the second week, and then a couple in the third, couple in the fourth, and then the grand final. So I think it goes something like that. But yeah, then I'll have to get back to the normal ones. I'll get back to the normal lives after that. But it's, you know, it's I've enjoyed being. I've been enjoying doing the footy. You know, you get a lot of new people come in to say hello, and it's good. They come and listen to the game, and it's something where, like, even Paul from over in Thailand, you know, he's still like an Aussie. You know, like, he still follows the footy and whatnot, and he probably can't hear it too much of the old Aussie rules. You know, so he can hear the footy, the coverage, follow his teams, see how they go. You're going to the panel of Miss Manny on Friday night. Wow, nice, Ryan. Good stuff. Oh, good stuff. That'll be good. Special guest of Miss Manny is Ryan. Good stuff. That'll be good. I'll have to. Oh, that's Friday. What time does she do her live, Miss Manny? I wonder what time she does. I'll have to. I don't know, maybe I'll have to replay that, or I'll have a couple of tabs open when I cover the footy on Friday night. Yeah. Yeah, I might be able to do that. Should be all right. I think about 9 o'clock. Is that 9 our time or 9 their time? Just trying to think. It's probably 9 our time, isn't it? 9 our time. What time? I'm just trying to have a look on what time the game. The game 7:40 is the game on Friday night. That's what time that starts. So it'd probably be 7:40, 8:40. Yeah, probably be about half time. Probably about half time when that's on. So that should be that could be alright. I'll try and have a tab open and see what you're doing up there on the panel. See how you go. It should be alright. 9 PM our time. Okay. Alright. That sounds alright. Hey, you're gonna be a guest on the panel, Ryan. Should be good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. That's it. All right, folks. You know what? That's about it for me. I've done enough jibber jabbering so far. So I am going to. I'll just flip the camera back on the scoreboard. Just for any latecomers who come in and just check the score, see what happened in this game. I'll leave that running for maybe about 3 minutes, and then I'll end. But for me, I think I'll stop talking, and I want to thank everyone for coming in today. And I hope you enjoyed the footy. All right, folks. Until next Friday, where the Swans take on the Magpies. We'll catch you later. Ciao for now. And we'll see you. Oi, you're still there. Ciao. All right, Ziggy. No worries. We'll see you later. All right, I'm going to turn this back around onto the scoreboard in case any latecomers come in and check the game for a couple of minutes. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ryan, who's still in the house, and people in the BG. And thanks, manager. Sana all. Peace out.